Oh, it's the nighttime. It's the right time. Welcome back to KindaFunny's Love and Sex Stuff After Dark. It's after dark somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's 3 p.m. on a Friday here in San Francisco. But
Cameron Kennedy said it just right. It's an afternoon delight. And sometimes, Nick, that just hits the spot.
That's very, very true, Mike. And I'm glad that you're joining us officially for the first time on Love and Sex Stuff. Because last time you were over on, what do you call it? The
Love Island.
Love Island, the couch.
The couch.
The couch.
The kissing corner over there.
Oh.
And now I'm happy to have you in between me and Tim.
Yeah,
it's a great place to be. You're going to be like kind of running. Of course, I'm Tim. That's Nick.
Hello.
Mike is the host here, who will be getting everyone set up to ask your questions. How could they do that, Mike?
Yeah, of course. KindaFunny best friends. This is another episode of Love, Sex, and Stuff. And we've done this before. We would love for you to call in, get involved, and ask your burning, loving, and sexy questions to do these two incredible show hosts. You can do that by joining, of course, our Discord. I have the Discord link in the YouTube chat. You can give that a click, and you can go on down to the center stage where you can get active. You can raise your hand, and you will be on a voice call with these two lovely gentlemen, and you can ask any question under the burning sun. Just like how good Roger looks right now.
He's always looking good. That's the thing about Raj.
Roger loves this show a lot, and that's the special one. Of course, we're vamping a little bit to get people in, get them ready to burn their questions. I know you got stuff, but, just wanted to point Roger out and how much he loves
that's
it.
great. There's 3 things that I want to say, though. 2 of them are requests, and one of them is a quick little story.
Sure.
That I can tell.
Yeah.
Request number 1. When you call in, try to keep it brief. Okay.
Oh, keep it tight.
We don't need your life story. You don't need your life story.
We need the background. We need stuff, but just let's try to keep it just a little concise there. And then the second thing is it doesn't need to be love or sex stuff.
Any advice.
It's love, sex, and stuff. If you need advice about the stuff, we're here for you too.
Literally, me and Mike have been doctors.
Yep.
We've been officers of the law.
Yes,
we've
have.
been lawyers.
Yes, we have.
And we've been mechanics who run a garage in the middle of nowhere.
Incredible garage.
We have a wealth of information on any number of subjects. So please call in and utilize us. This is a free service that we offer everyone.
And that's actually a great segue to my third point, which is a story. My brother just came in and was like, I know you're about to go live, but can I grab you for 20 seconds because I need to tell you something? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So I walk over and he goes, hey, I just wanted to grab you to tell you this because I wanted to tell everybody, but I didn't know if you and Nick would take it the right way.
Okay.
And I'm like,
obviously,
here we
something
go.
I need to hear immediately.
Here we go. It is not what you expect, Nick, and it is very funny. So, Cool Greg goes across the street to the liquor store, the famous liquor store,
of course.
right? And he has a good rapport with the people that work there, right? And all of a sudden, he's talking to the guy, but he sees the guy kind of like not paying attention and like looking outside, just like being kind of shifty. And he goes, "Whoa, hold on. Hey, there's 2 cops outside." Pointing at me and Nick. Waiting to get our fucking tacos from the taco truck.
He knew.
There's 2 cops there, they're standing there talking to each other.
Man, that's something you don't want to be called. And I once had a mustache that made me look like a cop, but you don't want to be called that.
And then my brother goes, whoa. Hey, that's my boss and my brother, like my blood brother.
Yeah, my blood brother. Like
he's my real life brother.
Yeah.
The guy's like,
That's
nah,
tough.
man,
Those guys are cops. Now, can I ask a real question? What do you think, realistically, percentage-wise, what do you think in Cool Greg's brain the percentage of you being a cop actually is?
Oh, for you,
now he's thinking maybe 5% you might
I'm
be a
sure
cop.
he's like, oh shit, like we're not brothers. Fuck that.
Yeah, you're
I
done.
get it,
He's never
man.
gonna
I
talk to you
get
ever
it.
again. You're done.
But anyways, that was hilarious. Did not expect that.
I love that.
Sure.
What about me? I mean, okay.
Yeah. What is it about you, Nick? What do you think it is?
What is it? What is
What
it
do you
about
think?
me that you would think is a cop?
You know, a lot of people. Yeah.
What do you mean
thank
everything?
Roger. A lot of people see this smiling, giggling Nick. When you're out in public, it's a little more stern, a little more, Not as
Motherfucker
much
dropped
smiling,
Stern.
And you got
What's
a jean jacket
Stern?
on, a strong
Cool
beard.
kids wear the jean
I mean,
jacket.
narcs.
Roger wears a jean jacket.
But it's a black jean jacket. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
something
You wear
like
a black jean jacket.
I wear a blue
A
one.
blue one.
oh,
blue
that's
one.
a blue
different-
jean
yeah.
jacket. Oh,
But there's something
oh.
about the black where you're trying like too hard to be incognito. You know.
But like,
I'm
hold on,
not
I want
trying to
you see
blend
what
in
I'm
at high
wearing right
school.
now.
Cops don't wear Jordans. Show us your gun.
21 Jump Street,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Roger, can I be honest with you about Roger? I think Roger's just a little jealous that he doesn't look like a cop. He could never pass for a cop in his life.
I do feel like Roger should be here. Roger, you might as well pull up a chair
Roger,
and like
pull up a
join
damn
us.
chair.
Yeah.
I knew you were going
Come
to do
have
this.
fun.
How long did y'all call me fucking New York's finest, okay? I
That
think
was
I
Greg.
resent the idea that I look like a cop. And I think, if anything, I do look like a cop with my bald head and just New York, the way I say wada. Wada.
Oh, my God.
Wada.
Come
Wada.
join us. Pull up a chair and just sit.
Pull up
Yeah,
a
come
frick-
on.
pull up a
Come on,
stupid
pull up
chair.
a chair and just share
Pull up a
with
chair.
me. Share one mic. Two boys, one
Get
mic.
over on that
boys,
side
one
of Tim
mic.
and just pull up a chair. Come on, have fun with us today.
Of course, I'll remind everyone, of course, you can get involved right now. Please join our Discord. The link is in the chat. You can come join the center stage, raise your hand, and come get your burning, loving questions answered by these two lovely gentlemen. I'll kick it off. I have a question.
Okay.
Across the street at that liquor store, how old are those condoms? And where do you buy condoms and where do you not buy condoms? Can I get
okay, that's a great question.
yes or no
Yeah,
questions? Okay, we're going to do that.
I buy my condoms in bulk. Everybody. I'm buying them from Walmart.com. And
Walmart.
They're the lifestyles. They're green, and they came. I was kind of skeeved out because last time I bought them, because I didn't want to bring no condoms across the country, right? I'm like, they're gonna get, they're gonna be in the movers thing. They're gonna get hot. They're gonna be fucking not as effective, right? So then I order the massive 300 pack from Walmart.
Is there anything
that
more
is
baller than Roger coming in here saying, I buy my condoms in bulk?
But here's the thing: they got delivered, and they were just in kind of like a loose baggie. And I was like, I don't know if I trust this.
And
But
that's what you get for buying in bulk from Walmart.
it's like 300 pack. It's like $20.
Roger,
great
if-
deal.
Yeah.
Great
If
deal.
I had-
Great
Yeah,
deal.
you get what you pay for, though.
If I had 300 condoms,
Yeah.
I would never need another condom ever.
Guess what? Guess
Never.
what? Almost out. You know what I mean? Almost out.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah,
out,
that's
everybody.
crazy. That's crazy, bro. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So
Water, you
funny.
been doing a lot of water balloon fights?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When we were young, me and my brother and our friends used to take condoms and put them on our heads and put it down to here.
And then-
and then
The Howie Mandel.
it would just go, what's up?
The Howie Mandel.
I don't know. But
Howie Mandel it was famous for doing that. He'd put a balloon, goes, and it would blow it up.
You would just do this on like,
That was one of his shticks.
Deal
He
or No
was a
Deal?
prop comic. So he would do stuff like, Howie
with the
Mandel, the guy's
condom, it
like
has the hip
Deal or No Deal guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he used to be a comedian.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I remember him for posting the prolapsed anus on TikTok. You've seen this?
Oh, he posted it?
Yeah, he posted a prolapsed anus on TikTok thinking it was like a creature of some sort.
that was
and then
just
he
his
got
interview
banned.
with Tom Sandoval. Joke for Joey. It was good. Trust me. So,
Oh, it's rubber glove. That's what it was, not a
Here
condom.
you are with the.
See right, so look right here.
Yeah.
We got it up here. Okay.
Right in front of you.
All right, right here. There we go.
Look at how
Oh,
you
wow.
got with hair.
This is what comedy was back in your day, huh?
This is still comedy. Don't say back in your day like my day has come and gone.
This is the stuff you guys were like, bro, I gotta show you the fucking rubber glove thing, girl. Oh my god, this is crazy. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Hilarious.
Tim, where can I and where can I not purchase condoms in your mind?
I mean,
is there a
look-
scary moment where you don't want to do it?
I do think buying condoms, it's very important to, like most things, look at the expiration date and take it seriously. Like, I don't like people that look at expiration dates and are like, I'm still in the room, especially with condoms. You can't be fucking around like that. Like, you need some good new shit. So I feel like a less safe place to go is the liquor store across the street. A safer place would be like a Target,
Walmart.com.
Walmart.
Generally, any place that has the condoms behind glass, a lock and key, so people can't be going in there willy-nilly and just poke holes in them.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably a good idea for
Probably
it.
a good idea. Okay.
But Mike, nothing's 100%. Nothing's as good as abstinence. That's why I recommend getting married.
Love that joke.
There we
Awful.
go. There we
Awful.
fucking go.
Pringle? Oh.
He's been pushing this bag of chips at me to open it because he wants me to be the one to open it. So if someone yells at him, like an Andy, it's like, oh no, Mike brought the bag of chips. He opened it,
Kevin Coelho.
Not
And he
Mike.
has 2 triggers in this office.
Yeah.
and one of them is seeing me with a bag of chips heading into a place where we record audio. He cannot stand it. He becomes a dad. Nicholas, what did I tell you about the chips? And I go, and I become instantly a toddler. I'm like, defiant to the last.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And then he takes my Switch away.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's me today.
I know, baby.
And I'm checked out enough that I don't give a shit.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
shit.
shipping on a Friday,
That means
everybody.
I'm gonna have
Cool dad.
one.
I saw Blessing in the chat saying that he bought some unique condoms online, but unique was capitalized. Is that a brand? Blessing is in the other
Blessing
room.
is good at grammar, so probably.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it's a brand.
Yeah, so I just want to know what's up with these unique condoms.
All I know is this. Wear condoms. They're very important. And make sure that they're not expired, like Tim said.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very
So don't
important.
buy it from the bathroom
No.
quarter stall at the local bar.
Let's just say this. And we'll just
I mean,
say,
if
well,
you need to
better
do
than
that,
nothing.
Yeah, like, do not do nothing. If you need to do
Yeah.
it, get it.
Do not do nothing.
But check the expiration date. You know what I mean? Like it's worth the loss potential there.
It's
Unique
a brand.
condoms.
They're non-latex.
Yeah, the world's thinnest latex-free condoms.
I'll tell you what. Now, let's talk condoms for a second.
Let's talk.
Then
Let's
roll out
get
to
deep
that.
in the condoms and
Let's
safe
talk condoms
sex.
for a
Let's
second,
talk
right?
about it.
I'm not a condom expert, of course. We're not experts on this show, ladies and gentlemen. We're just idiots with opinions. Please take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Obviously, consult a professional if you're having a medical issue or if you have any real questions about condoms or prophylactics or anything like that. Having said all of that, I used latex condoms for a good amount of time when I was having the sex before the marriage, right?
Yeah.
Switched over to a non-latex condom. Now, granted, it's my understanding that non-latex condoms are not as effective against like STI protection, things like that, right? But if you're just worried about good old-fashioned 9 months later, a little surprise popping out, these non-latex condoms are the fucking bee's knees.
Wait, really?
You know why? You ever smell the latex condom?
Oh yeah.
You ever used latex condom and then 3 days later, you're like, how the fuck does my hand
here.
still smell
It's awful.
like a latex condom?
Thank
Yeah.
you, Nick. I was
non-
afraid to say it.
The non-latex condoms, take it out, use it, throw it at your neighbor, forget about it.
Jesus Christ.
I love you, Nick.
This show used to mean
love you,
something.
Nick. I love
There used to be sanctity here. I do want to let everyone know right now. I'm only bringing this up because we're on this show and it's happening today.
Oh, this is great.
This
This is
show
great.
right now is not sponsored by anybody besides you.
Give 'em the show. Give 'em the sponsor. Let 'em
But
know it.
I want y'all to know that we do have a new sponsor coming up, and that sponsor is the Trojan Bearskin Raw. And me and Roger had to record that ad today, and it
Not
was
together. I was recording the ad for him.
and it was one of the most
Together.
like difficult to get through things, because normally when like I get ad copy, they'll send me stuff and it's like 90% just like, hey, say what we're saying here, and then like add your testimonial or add your vibe or whatever the hell it is, and we try to keep it just pretty simple because like it's rinse and repeat. This one didn't have that. This one just had, hey, here's a couple thought starters. I had a list of do's and do nots, and I'm like, all right, here we go. But I did say the word raw no less than 100 times, and to get through that without cracking a smile, like it was very, very difficult. But I did look at this, where the part of it of thought starters. The host can share an authentic story about how Trojan Bearskin Raw condoms are as raw as it gets.
I love the authentic part of that.
Yeah, no, they care.
We don't want you to fucking sugarcoat this. We want an authentic story.
But then they're like, but if the host prefers not to share a story, they can connect Trojan Bearskin Raw to their listeners' lives while calling out Trojan Bearskin Raw being America's thinnest latex condom.
Wow.
All right. So if you want latex, non-latex, there's options. But soon we're going to be sponsored by Trojan. We should have got this sponsored.
Yeah.
I should have hit them up.
Can we stick on condoms for just one more minute?
Yeah. Of
course.
You know, just because you brought up the smell. And I'm so glad that you identified that, because I didn't want to talk about it, but like, yeah, the latex smell is too much for me and I don't like it.
It's a little too much.
You know what I mean? So I am glad that now I have options to avoid that.
So what are they making? I know we're not experts. What are they making these non-latex condoms out of? I know they used to be like, what was it, sheep intestines or something like that, like all the way back in like.
Well, I mean, that was like, you were talking like Egyptian times.
Yeah, but for some
back in
reason
those,
I just
like,
always
cat
thought
intestines.
that's what we're still rocking
No,
with.
you're
I
right.
don't know.
We are.
We are?
Yeah.
They're still doing this?
That was what when the non-latex, when it first, like in modern times when it first started. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we
Super
doing it
involved.
with it now? We're not doing that, right?
I couldn't tell you what they're made out of. I imagine it's some other sort of plasticky polymer
Oh, plastic. Okay.
thing. I
Interesting.
imagine. But again, this is why you have to be very, very careful with these things, because it's my understanding, and maybe the technology has gone beyond it at this point, that these are not as effective for like STIs as latex. That's what I understand. But I could be wrong about that. Make sure you're checking your facts. And at the end of the day, again, a little protection is better than no protection.
Okay, well, back-
Cameron Kennedy in the chat is saying just a wool condom,
But-
cloth.
Back to my question, because Roger
What? What the fuck?
I wanted to talk about the fun stuff, like the hot and cold or the twisted pleasure.
we're still getting there.
I want to know about
I just wanted to
that.
know.
You know what I mean? I want to know what your condom of choice is. That's not the original. Step out of your comfort zone.
I've tried the glow in the dark one. That was weird. That was a weird experience. Because in New York, right, they have a great thing where they just sometimes just have like, oh, here's like the health booth, and they just like, here's like a bunch of fucking like different New York City branded condoms, and like in there it's like, here's one that smells like chocolate. Oh boy, that smell of chocolate does not go away.
No, you don't want that.
For a long time.
You don't want that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, because sometimes it's in the dark. I'm pulling a condom out of the dark in my condom box. Pull one in. Oh no, it's the fucking chocolate one. I guess we're doing this. I guess we're doing the chocolate night. This sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bad experience.
So they have all sorts of different types of.
Yeah, they had a
these
pina
themed-
colada one.
They have one for you called the nightstick because you're the law.
God, you're fucking. You're not on anything today.
I tried the worst condom I ever used was I used one of those long-lasting condoms that had a numbing agent in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you only make that mistake once. Because the numbing agent is not it's like a topical anesthetic. So it basically, if you don't get the dosage right, let's just put it this way. For like an entire day, I couldn't feel anything from like my belly button down to my knees. Because it had all just kind of spread out. And I was like, this is kind of a fuzzy feeling down now at this point. Which is like, you know, like when the doctor does the Novocaine in your mouth, you're like, I think I can't tell if I'm like chewing or not. I don't know. That was the most embarrassed I've ever been during sex because I was like, I've never had this happen before, but like, I just can't feel anything.
Yeah.
And it was just,
Was it like instant or was it like slowly over time?
yeah, you put it on, you're like, that's interesting, and it starts feeling like that, like so you start feeling numb, like maybe a couple seconds, like maybe 30 seconds into it, and then by a solid 2 minutes, you're like, I mean, it's like throwing a fish against a wall. It's just
Fucking God.
It's just
damn it.
not
That's
working.
great.
dude.
Throw
That's
that.
good. That was good.
Wow. Wow. I want to get into some of these questions.
We have some viewer questions right now. Of course, one final reminder. I'm going to say it a bunch of times, but one more reminder right now. You can call in to have your loving, burning questions answered by Tim, Roger, and Nick right now. Of course, I'm your lovely show host. I'll sometimes abstain from answering questions, but we have a call in. And I'm not going to say people's names. I want them to introduce
All right.
themselves. I don't want to expose any Discord
yeah,
names.
I like that.
I don't want to put anybody on the
That's
spot if they
smart.
want to go by different names. You know, so I'm gonna
I
bring in our
swear to
first
God,
caller
if this
right
is
now.
Craven fucking Moorhead again, I'm not gonna forgive you, Mike. You're fired. I knew it was. You telegraphed it. You telegraphed it. Fucking 30 miles
Got
away.
about Craven Forehead.
First caller, you are here.
Hi guys, Mike. Nice to see you again. This is my name is Mark Lopez.
Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
You too.
The question I'm calling in for is I'm throwing out the question to my girlfriend in about 3 weeks from now.
You're popping.
Oh.
Okay, popping the question.
Popping the question, and one thing that I didn't know was gonna happen going into it, I should have. Excuse me, hang on, my dog. One thing that that's I'm struggling with is the anxiety that comes with it, and the idea of the proposal not being up to what her dreams are and what I guess expectations or anything like that. I'm running into a lot of issues when it comes to the logistics, the venue, just kind of like how we're going to do things, and especially when I have a lot of people who are asking me questions and I just don't have any answers to. And that's kind of starting to weigh on me going into the proposal. So I don't know how to navigate the anxiety and top of like, your daily stressors, work, home, all that kind of stuff. And also trying to keep up the secrecy.
Oh yeah, the secret's the hard part. So you say that you have there's a lot of questions you don't have answers to. What answers do you have? Like what are the facts you're working with here that you feel confident in?
So the whole idea is, at least what I have had planned, is going back to recreate our first official date. We're going to a local pumpkin patch. We're very big on supporting local businesses. I go back and we pop the question there. The idea would then be to do an after party with friends and family at her parents' place. And then the next day or two, we go down to Santa Cruz. We're in Central California. We go to Santa Cruz and we use that time to decompress and just be in the moment with each other now that we're officially engaged.
Dude, you got this on lock. Like, yeah. So hold on. What in terms of her expectations? I mean, you obviously know her well. If you're proposing, do you think that she wants a giant thing with a bunch of people involved, or does she want it to be just y'all? Like, this plan seems like you thought it out. Like, this sounds good to me.
The issue is my girlfriend's very extra.
Okay.
So the idea, her dream one would be fireworks on the beach,
shit. Okay.
giant "Marry Me" sign, all that kind of
Oh
bullshit.
boy.
I was doing my best to kind of live up to that dream. It's very important for me to be intentional when it comes to that kind of stuff. But all that's fallen through. Money, we're moving to a new place soon. There's a lot of just logistics around our own personal life where I can't set aside that kind of money or that kind of experience. So we've kind of fallen back into plan B, which is the plan I just shared with you guys. But now I'm getting, trying to plan out with the farm out here. There's a lot of back and forth where things can go and cannot go. So it's not going to be as private as we'd hope it to be. So I'm just kind of running into that issue where it's just like nothing's really going through, and I'm worried that I'm not going to meet that vision. We've already kind of talked about setting actual expectations, and just like she's going to be happy no matter what because she already feels like we're married, and the ring is just going to be the added flair. But I think for me it's just been so important. I've been very hyper fixated on the fact of trying to get it to as close as she wants it to be, just to make it as memorable. And I just feel like right now I can't get a win when it comes to.
I think you're in your head, man. Like I feel like you, everything you just said, you got a plan. It's a good plan. There's enough unique things about it that I think are going to mean a lot to her, mean a lot to y'all together. You have the ring already?
Yeah, so I actually have a generational ring from.
Then you're golden. You're set, man. I really don't think that you need to worry too much of the extraness and all that stuff. That comes from you just like showing the fuck up that day. Make sure your speech is killer. Make sure that you're like not overthinking the moment or whatever. Just be in it. Just allow it to happen. You having the plan for the proposal, a plan for a party with everybody, and a plan to just hang out with her in Santa Cruz. This is amazing.
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
I would agree. I mean, look, what you're describing is sort of the fantasy of marriage versus the reality of marriage. And the reality of marriage is that you do what you can do. That's all you can do, right? I would love to fly my wife around the world on a private jet for the rest of her life and only stay in hotels that are like $20,000 a night. That's not reality, right? We have to find a happy medium somewhere in there that meets her expectations, but that also allows us to enjoy our lives. And you guys will find that comfortable medium. It's called, I don't want to use the word compromise, but there is a fair amount of compromise that needs to go into that. And that's sort of the things that you guys learn. Ultimately, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but if you put your best foot forward and she's super disappointed, you guys have bigger problems than fireworks, if that makes sense, right? In my opinion, if you guys are meant to be each other, or you guys are close enough to each other and you guys have built this sort of relationship with each other, then you simply asking the question should be enough. But again, you have to also meet her in the middle and meet her expectations. So I definitely would say go all out as far as you can go out, but please, for the love of God, do not go into debt to do this, because you will go into a lot of debt for the wedding and for everything else that you end up doing anyway for the rest of your life. So start it off right, and ultimately, does she know what the ring looks like?
So she's tried it on just to make sure it would fit.
Does she like it?
She loves it.
Okay, you're good. You're
good, dude.
Because I will say this,
I just got it resized the past couple of days.
Okay, perfect.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
I will say this one thing about the ring is it is a piece of jewelry. It is a material object. But man, they look at it every freaking day. Every day.
Dude, I remember it was like 2013 when you and Dee first get together or first get married.
We've been married almost 11 years.
Yeah, so somewhere around there.
11 years. Sorry. Shit.
I remember walking at that little market near IGN, Nick, and we got lunch. We got sandwiches. We were sitting at the table, and you were talking to me about rings and shit because you were showing me your fancy shit. and you were telling me like how much rings cost in general because I was so young, I had no concept, and it blew my fucking mind, Rogers. It's stupid.
I'm kind of that's where I'm at.
Oh, it's scary, bro.
Yeah?
It's scary. But Nick, I'll never forget. You told me like it's the best thing that I have ever bought, ever invested in because she looks at it every day, and I catch her being happy every day. And now here I am, 4 years removed from being engaged to G. Literally catch her every single day.
They just do this.
So,
Just
yep.
this little car?
Just a little thing.
And I'll say the other thing too. The same thing. Remember what else I told you?
Don't shit what you eat.
Well, that's very true. No, but the one thing I will say about the ring, especially if you have to buy it, right? You pony up that money, and generally if you have it made or whatever, they get the down payment, which is like half of what it's worth. And the second, and up until when I got engaged, I was like, I don't understand why people are supposed to spend like money on a ring. The whole ring, giving someone a ring is like dumb, right? It's kind of antiquated. But for a guy, especially a guy that had commitment phobia like I did, who was like, I don't want to commit ever. I handed over that check, Mike, and it was one of those things where like I went to hand her the check and she went to pull it out of my hand, and I was like, I don't want to let it go. The second I let it go, I was like, oh, I made the right choice.
Yeah.
And I never questioned it again. I was all in there, and I had that ring in my hand, and I was like, I'm so looking forward to giving her this. And I'll never forget when I asked Dee to marry me. I was like, will you be my wife? She looked at it, she put it on, and did not say a word for 2 hours. I was like, she's like, yeah, I'm good. We're good. But it was so shocking to her that she was just like, I need to process this. And then finally she was like, yeah, I'm really happy. But we went out to dinner, and I swear to God, the waitress was like, are you guys breaking up? Like, what's going on? I was like, actually, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
We're getting married right now. But she's just very overwhelmed with emotions. It was really lovely.
So
anyway,
so you, dude, you
mark it
you
out of your
got this,
brain.
man. Like I really think you got it. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
luck,
it.
man.
Go kill it, Mark. You're
Hell
the
yeah.
best, man. Now,
Thank you, Mike.
as
Yeah,
we
dude.
get more questions coming in, more conversation, I want to talk about proposals on that. Tim, how much am I supposed to let on that the moment's coming to ensure that, you know, my soon-to-be fiance might want to go get her hair done, her nails done? Does that actually matter when maybe I should give hints and make sure that she's at her 100% best for photos in the moment? Or is it just, hey, let me spring this on you when the moment is right?
It is 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that?
It's dependent on the person. You need
Okay.
to know them. You need to know what matters to them. A lot of my friends that are women, that shit matters to them so much. So like pretty much without fail, every single one of my dude friends had to find a creative way to make sure that the women were looking how they would want to look
Yeah,
for
if
the
you-
pictures or videos or whatever.
If you remember from mine, I think we sent Alyssa at a brunch that morning. So then, like when we got her to the spot where I proposed, like she was looking like good, going out to brunch with her friends type of shit. So
yeah, use friends. I think that's like the wisest thing. Like
That's really smart.
I took DOA to a weekend at Napa. I was like, hey, you want to go like just get away and do weekend at Napa? And she's like, you're gonna propose, because I never do shit like that.
She said that to you, or she?
I mean, she
just
knew
did?
it was
Yeah,
coming.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those people that like, you guys know me, right? I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I'm a little critical when it comes to like getting things absolutely kind of the way they want. I want it to be. And so like there was no way I was gonna get her a ring without her knowing exactly what it was gonna be. And the second you get the ring, it's like, okay, well, it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to guess when your boyfriend, who never takes you away to a nice hotel at Napa, like springs for this thing. She's like, I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna get kind of dialed in, and maybe get it, get it zhuzhed up a little bit. And she looked fantastic.
That's really
yeah.
smart.
My key was Gia's sister. If you have an in, then you're golden, because like that way I was able to get so much information without her ever knowing it was me. Now that was a problem, because then there was the big question of like, hey, all of your friends are proposing or getting married. What the fuck, Tim? And I had to deal with that for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The worst thing in the world is having to deal with that while planning a thing.
planning it.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I can't ruin this.
All you want to do is
exactly.
scream at that person. I'm fucking doing it next
fucking
week.
doing it. Shut up. But hey, it all went great.
I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say something about because you mentioned potentially one day going down the road of the rings.
Yeah.
They got lab grown rings now. Lab grown diamonds.
Yes,
yeah.
I've heard about
These
it.
things are the bomb. Apparently,
Yep.
like they have
Yeah.
occlusions. They have
Mesocyte?
everything. What's that?
Mesocyte?
I don't know what the hell they're called, but they're real diamonds. They're just
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
grown in a lab, and they can. I saw one at a jeweler the other day. It was like pink, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's dope. And a pink diamond that size would have
I think
been
it's
like
a lot of
$100,000. And this was like, wasn't that expensive? I mean,
Yeah.
it's still fucking
Oh, yeah,
absurdly
yeah,
expensive, but like,
It's literally like a fourth of the price.
yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
I
wild.
think that's what I rolled with for Alyssa's diamond, and yeah, it was way cheaper than
It's-
what I was planning and expecting for. So
It's
yeah, that was
there. I
nice.
mean, there's no difference. They're conflict free, and other than it didn't come from the earth. Who gives a flying shit? I'm like, dude, that's the way I would go 100% right now. This just weren't available to me back in the day, I don't think.
Hell yeah.
Good to know. And my final one.
Mike, are you looking at diamonds? Please close that page.
Well, no,
You
I
spend-
looked.
I
I
don't like the way you
looked
spend
up
money.
lab-grown diamonds. I had to
there you
look
go.
it up. I had to
Okay.
look it up.
Before this, I saw that you subscribe to 2 terabytes of storage on Google Drive. Why?
I have
you use
20,000 photos.
You use
on my phone.
You use 20 gigabytes.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm on a lot of things. I'm on a lot of things because I'm also on Apple because they got the 20,000 photos. In Google, I don't know what Google does.
Mike, I wish, you know,
Someone help me.
Mike, I love you so much.
You
and I-
need rocket money. Or
Someone help
rocket
me.
money? Rocket money,
What
Mike.
is it? What is that thing? SoundCloud. Someone help me with SoundCloud.
He subscribes to SoundCloud. every
Back
month.
to
15 bucks a month.
proposals really quick. You know, of course, we hit the golf course, me and Andy. We met a soon-to-be father-in-law, son-in-law duo here.
Yeah,
Dynamic
dynamic duo.
How are we still at the age where we have to ask the father/family's permission?
100%.
What if the father doesn't vibe with you and gives you a no? Where do we stand in 2023 with asking
Nah.
for permission from the family?
I called Alyssa's dad, not as like asking for permission because that feels like weird, like ownership shit, but as like a hey, like I want to give you the heads up out of respect of like I am proposing to your daughter tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, wow, was the day.
Damn,
Put
you were
that right
dude,
on him.
Barrett's
Holy
like the
shit.
FBI calling the NYPD, like, we're coming on the spot. This is a courtesy call.
picking up Trump.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
our
Pick up
case
Trump.
now.
But he was very cool. He was very excited. So yeah.
I mean, hopefully you have a good relationship with your future in-laws. I love my in-laws. I think they're great people, and we have a great time every time we hang out. So I have a great relationship with them. But I did it as an old school courtesy, not from a standpoint of like, hey, you know, you're passing your daughter along for me to
Yeah.
take care of now, but more from like a, hey, I'd like to join your family. Is that cool with you? Because that's really what's happening, right? I'm putting a ring on your daughter's hand. We're mostly gonna hang out together, but you're gonna have to see my ass on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Like, are we cool?
Yeah.
And of course, they were like, "Yeah, we
Yeah.
love you. It's great." But that's
I
how it
think
goes.
it's again really dependent on you need to know them, you need to know their family and like what their culture looks like and all of that stuff. From my perspective, like the permission thing, that's just a non-starter. Like that's fucking weird as hell, and like I ain't playing that game. But the like being a good person and just like kind of giving them a heads up, like in the same way that I'd give like my friends or their friends heads up about like, oh, this is happening, whatever. Like I called Gia's dad and like told him, but like yeah, it was kind of like what Bear was saying. It was like it was more I'm making you aware of this as opposed to
Well, it's-
asking any question.
I mean, imagine this, right? Imagine you have kids. They're, you know, mid-20s, and then randomly they just let you know, like, hey, this guy's, we just got engaged, right? I'm not saying like you don't have the power to stop it, but like showing the respect of being like, hey, I'm coming into your family, I'm giving you a heads up, I think is a nice respect. Now, if the dad says no, you can always be like, fuck you, I'm still married.
Yeah.
We're still getting married because we're adults. But I think it's a nice way to be like, hey, at some point, I'm gonna be shitting in your bathroom. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
That's
be
a good
at your
one.
house on a Christmas. The
Shitting in the
lower
bathroom.
bathroom is, you know, it's gonna be taken. I gotta go upstairs. I gotta shit in your bathroom.
Oh, wow, it's that one.
I gotta shit in dad's
It's
bathroom.
going up. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us during this live stream. Of course, you can call in over on the Discord. It is pinned to our live stream chat. Of course, I'm putting in the Discord link anytime throughout today's live stream that you can join. And we have another call in.
Oh.
So please, caller, answer the call and come join us and ask away.
Hey guys.
Hey.
My name's DC.
DC. What's up, DC?
Well, my question is this is something that's a little stupid. You know, not like some of the serious questions that some people are going to.
You're breaking out.
With, but sorry, I think it's me.
There you go.
Microphone's picking up on two things. Yeah, this isn't a very serious question.
Good.
But it's something that has come up, I think, more into the public space with BG3, and now that you guys are going to have the Nick hosting.
You're like going in and
session.
out. Can you try to stay into the mic?
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds like
sorry.
your mic's gate is cutting off a little bit as you're talking.
yeah, it's like I think it might be my noise cancelling.
Yeah,
sorry.
I think it's aggressive, but we like it.
Yeah. So like with Nick now about to do the whole Games Master Dungeons and Dragons
yeah.
session, and with Baldur's Gate 3 having brought this into the public sort of space, are you guys aware of like the concept of being a monster fucker within like D&D and sort of the wider thing where people sometimes find themselves attracted to things that they probably shouldn't? You know, maybe going from vampires all the way to
That's a good cut.
Oh wait, that was a good cut.
It was a good cut. It was a perfect
I have to know. I have to know, DC.
Yeah, DC, are you there, DC? Or are you gone? Well, I will say Emma Fife.
is an
Wow, there you go. What? That
yeah. Sorry, I turned my gain up a little bit. Yeah, like
vampires
from like
to
the
what?
concept.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got it.
things like mind flayers, owl bears, dragons, weird
Got it.
things.
Trying to bang out a dragon. Sure.
Yeah. What would your limit be for this is okay, and what would your limit be for no, this is weird, burn it all down?
Can I take this?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Uh-oh.
What do you think my limit would be? What do you think
No,
my limit
no.
would be?
The worst.
I'll give you a hint. It was a Bradley Cooper movie.
Oh my God.
I can't
Limitless.
even think.
Oh, I thought it was
Limitless.
I thought it was Guardians.
What?
Fuck the raccoon.
Like a banging out a raccoon?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm always sky's the limit when it comes to all this stuff. But I mean, obviously, it's people's comfort level when you're playing the game, right? But I always think like when you're doing stuff like this or you're having a group dynamic, it's the comfort level of the person that's least comfortable with the material that you have to kind of scale to, right? One of the things that I was actually I'm learning a lot, so I'm very novice level with a lot of this stuff, but I went to a couple people, one of which is my jiu-jitsu coach who runs games every week. His name's Riley Bodycomb. He's fucking awesome. And he shared with me a lot of resources, a lot of really simple starter stuff. But he was like, you got to know a few things about D&D, one of which is like veils and lines. Like you have to know people's sort of like soft limits and like what's a non-starter for them. And I'm going to talk to everyone about that as we get closer to the game. But it's nice to know if there's like some things that someone goes, hey, maybe I don't want to tell you why, but I'd rather not talk about banging out a dragon or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just not my comfort level. And you go, okay, I respect that. And you just don't do that, right? But as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I think everything's silly and I don't really get offended by anything, but I know that everyone's not like me. What about you guys?
I mean, are we just talking about D&D or Baldur's Gate?
We're talking,
and stuff?
we're rolling die.
Oh, we're
and
rolling die.
You see
'Cause I
a
was just-
sexy ass dragon come your way. And you're
we
thinking
just
to yourself,
we gotta
never
stop having sex with Sonic. Just in general. Like the fucking
Pregnant
rule.
Sonic.
Huh?
Pregnant Sonic.
Pregnant Sonic, we
pregnant
gotta stop this shit. We gotta stop this shit. That's my hard limit. It's just like, why are we doing this to Sonic the Hedgehog? Why are we doing this to Sonic the Hedgehog, guys?
You might be alone in this, Raj.
What? You like this?
I mean,
You're into pregnant Sonic.
well, when it makes a TikTok that good, I'm not against it.
Not against it.
You know what I mean?
I'm not against it.
I feel like my real answer to this question is when it comes to just like video. Thank you so much, Barrett. When it comes to the ideas of games or like just make believe shit, especially if it's like just having fun and being silly, there's no limit. It's all good. And like what Nick's saying is like, yeah, it's the lowest common denominator of people's acceptance levels with this stuff. But the moment it kind of turns into reality,
Yeah.
that's to me where I'm like, there is definitely a line. I just don't know. I don't personally know where that line is, but again, it's about consent and making people feel comfortable and safe.
If you're rolling with a crew of people that you know want to indulge in some of the more evocative or provocative stuff, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But yeah, just make sure you're not making anyone uncomfortable. That's always the goal.
Yeah, in Baldur's Gate 3, I think I was fucking my flute in the game. Yeah, so we didn't really have many lines.
Do you guys think that the reason why you don't play that game anymore is because you never invited Dodger of York to come back and hang out with you?
I think that's it. I think that's the big thing. Yeah.
And
No, I think
instead-
it stopped because he was invited in the first place.
No,
Yeah, that was kind of like
they
the
went two more
apex
after
and
that. They went two more after that.
Yeah.
I didn't kill it.
DC, great question. Thank
question.
you so much for that one, DC.
Did I
Thanks for your
draw
time,
that?
guys.
Or did Andy draw that?
Andy drew that one. You
yeah.
drew me as Batman, which I love.
Sick.
Great question. That's a fun question because it's sitting at the table playing D&D. I also like who's the one to take it there. That's always the fun one for me. It's like maybe it goes in your mind, maybe it doesn't, but like who is that person to walk up to the line mentally and go, I'm about to step over this line, and they step. You know what I mean?
That's what. Okay. First off,
And I like that.
That's
I
why
need
y'all
someone in
keep
my life
me
like
here.
I
that.
know.
okay.
I love
Exactly.
that the camera zooms in on Roger, but I like look over and I just see Nick just go like his eyes. He's like, that's
Like,
me.
why isn't it me? Why isn't it me?
lines are made to be broken.
And somebody needs to take a walk over that
Got
line.
to take a
and I
step over the line.
appreciate that.
You know what? At one point, someone was like, we're never going to fucking fly in the air. And someone was like, let me get my brother. We're going to go step over that line.
Let me
And
step
those
up to
two
this
men,
line.
Those
Yeah.
two men were Donnie and Mark Wahlberg. That's
Yep.
right.
Donnie.
And that line was
Donnie.
Wahlburgers, which is a restaurant chain that's still alive to this day.
Wow.
In my
Wow.
heart.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they all died. They're still around. You're
All
from New York.
died?
Are they around? They have
I
them in
don't
New York?
Look at the fucking mayor of New York over here.
I'm sure there's one. I'm sure there's
Get
one.
out the nights.
There's one in JFK. There's one in JFK.
There's got to be one in JFK.
Of course, you can call in with our Discord link. I see a number of you
Oh, wow.
coming to join the center stage. So thank you all so much. Don't be afraid to raise your hand if you'd like to answer or ask any questions of love, sex, and stuff. It's all free. It's all open to talk about. And so, yeah, as we wait for another caller, of course, guys, that was some good fun stuff right there.
Are
I had a
we
good
waiting for
time.
another? Aren't there
Oh,
a
here it
bunch?
comes right now.
Oh.
I'll tell you when somebody calls. God damn.
Bizarre.
Tim, I want you
we
to
can
put-
all see your laptop.
Tim, I want you to put this bag over your face and try to.
We have a new caller.
Inflate it.
Caller, you may ask away.
What's up, guys? How you been?
What
Yeah,
up?
good. What's up, man? What's your name?
Manny Big Boy Sanchez.
Hell
Nice.
yes.
What up,
So-
Manny?
Yo, so I'm calling to ask. Back in 2008, I started like a soccer tournament to start raising money for like to fight the genocides in Darfur,
Sweet.
and then it became like an annual thing, and then it became what do you call it, biannual when it's twice.
Twice per year?
Okay, so
was getting confused
when
on
the
those.
pandemic happened, it kind of stopped. So I'm starting it up again. But my question is, if I wanted to get into like doing more charity stuff, in today's day and age, how would I go about it? Like, since you guys do like these great streams to raise money and stuff, how would you say I should go about it?
Dude, honestly, you should just, there are so many Twitch streamers whose whole thing is just like charity streams. And I feel like just finding them and then looking into their like description of their Twitch channel, there's going to be so many resources for you because there's so many websites out there whose sole purpose is connecting creators with charities and making it as simple as possible. And I feel like the best advice I have for trying to do something is see what other people are doing out there and then see what your twist on it could be. Like when we first made a Patreon, it was just looking at every Patreon and taking notes on like what perks. I was like, oh, this could make sense. We can apply it to us. So I feel like the same concept there of like looking at all the different tools and levers that you could pull for the type of charity that you're trying to do and go from there. But I really do feel that the Twitch streamer side of charity has like really changed the game and like kind of opened it up that anybody can, even if you have 3 viewers, it's like that could like really change and affect whatever cause you're trying to help out there. But there's a ton of amazing people out there. There's one I want to name drop here. Her name's Ellie.
Yeah, I was about to pull up Ellie Joy
Yeah.
Panic over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ellie Joy Panic. They stream a bunch, like their sole focus is like charity streaming. I think they're founder of Cosmic Hearts, and they do a lot of like focusing on vital causes that they're close to and all that stuff. So I think that would be a good kind of person to like look at and resource to try to get jump started there.
Yeah, because like I was thinking that the next step would be maybe like live streaming the tournament and stuff and getting some like maybe like you're saying collaborate with some people and like get like some more people involved in it. That makes sense actually.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Very cool.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
Keep at it,
Great
man.
having
That's
me.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks
Hear from you.
for the entertainment. And I appreciate all of you guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being in the chat all the time. Appreciate you.
Take care, man.
Thanks, Manny.
Take care, Mike.
We've talked about having sex in front of the dogs and cats.
Yeah, it's a no. This is not a starter for me.
Yeah.
What about a baby? What about an infant baby? Does the baby go out of the room or can the baby
No.
stay in the room?
The baby can stay in the room.
This is thought.
I mean,
this is thought in my mind. It was a thought in my
Yeah, I
mind.
mean, I don't like look at like maybe you just like make sure the baby's like not directly in the line
Oh.
of sight,
as long as the baby doesn't have direct eye contact.
Right, like maybe like so let's put it this way, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking to baby that's like I can't move? Or are we talking to baby that like you know how when they get to that phase where they try to break out of the pen?
Yeah,
And you
break
look
out
over
the
and they're prairie dogging it over the thing.
Oh shit, they're prairie dogging Tim.
If I'm like if the pony's on,
Okay.
right? If the genuine's on, right? And daddy's getting out the non-latex, the non-latex.
No.
pen,
Yep.
At this point, we've already maybe a day or two before, so that it's not in her recent memory. We've already narrowed my back. We've already gotten all the hair off that.
Oh, okay.
Starbucks has been bought and everything's been done.
Yep.
And we're about to get our groove on, so to speak. And I look over and I see my child's eyes, my same eyes, looking back at me. I can't. You roll that fucking thing out to the next room.
Roll it out. I needed to know. That's what I needed to know.
Wow.
He's rolling the baby out of the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
I
I don't even
know,
like to look
no.
at myself when I'm having sex.
Yeah, there's oh my god, there is a point that
I
it's
love
not
it.
okay.
There's an age. There's a number.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Something
I
to
don't know
think
what
about.
it is though.
Just a thought starter out there for everybody.
I think that the number is when they start forming like full memories, whatever age that is.
Yeah.
That's
So
when you
5.
That's when you probably don't want
Five? No, we're not
No.
banging in front of
That-
a
say no.
4-year-old.
That's when I
going
remember.
to
say no.
That's remember my first memory. That's what I remember.
I'm gonna say the second day.
This is more about you than it does anything
Yeah,
else.
that's all. That makes a lot of sense. Mike occasionally, even when he goes home today, he's
Kindergarten
like,
is your first memory.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Five.
we're gonna go lower than that. I'm gonna say for the sake of argument, anything after 1, you probably
I
just
agree.
gonna.
I think
One year old.
is the-
We're rolling the baby out.
Yeah, I think. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Okay.
if it's like walking around and has the ability to grab things that you don't want that. Near
my
the
God.
act. I didn't mean like you know what I mean. I just don't, like I don't want to throw in like a sharp object at you or like whatever. But like I have friends, by the way. I have a lot of friends that have kids, and they all have the same story of like, you have to. Eventually, you have to like lock the door when you
Yeah.
want to get busy. And one of my buddies was telling me a story. He's like they're sneaks.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, they sneak. They try to sneak up on you. They figure out that you're doing stuff that they don't know what it is, but they don't like it because they don't know what it is. And they know they don't understand it, and they know they're not supposed to understand it, but they don't grasp the concept of it. So he's like, you just can never fucking take your privacy for granted.
No.
Even when the door is locked, he goes, they figured out how to push the little thing and they lock it. And he goes, and they got small feet.
Dude.
Small feet, Tim. They don't make noise when they run up on you.
Soft feet.
I got 2 Pomeranians, and they make a lot of noise. But what we need to do is literally take treats, throw them as far as we can into a different room. They run out. We slam the door. We fucking go. We're just like, it's fucking go time.
Let's go.
And they're doing their treats, and we're just like, all right, cool. What can we get done? How much freeform time do we have here? What's going on? And there's always a point. You don't hear anything. But all of a sudden, you see a white little
Yeah,
paw
little white paw.
go underneath the door.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's 4 little paws, and they're just like, God
They just
damn
got to
it.
get in, bro. They got to get in.
We have more callers right now, so let's take on our next caller. Caller, you are welcome aboard the Love Train. Ask away. Welcome in.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mr. Hawks in chat. Nick,
Hey,
it's not
what's
Mr.
going
Hawks.
on?
What's up?
Saying, learn to read.
He was checking you. He's checking you right now.
It's Mr. Hoax.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm glad that we were just talking about.
This
you
is
know,
my
like,
world you're in now, my little hovel. What's up, Hawks? How you doing?
I'm glad that we're talking about, the fucking in front of the baby and everything.
It's important.
Great segue
Thank you.
into what I was going to bring up. More on the stuff side of things. Maybe a little dark,
Okay.
but what month is it? September? Yeah, back in July, I wanted to kill myself.
Oh.
No.
Had a plan almost. Not everything was, completely planned out, but I was a lot further along than I have been in the past. First off, I mean, the content you guys do, incredible, helped me through a lot of stuff. But I'm wondering what you guys do. I know Mike had a great Greg Way a couple months ago, kind of talking about like self-doubt and getting in your own head and everything. I'm wondering what you guys have done in your life or any sort of knowledge that you guys can impart, including, Nick with his decades and decades. And
Okay. That's where we're at.
decades.
Okay. Brought it back around.
Decades.
It's great.
Centuries of knowledge.
Okay.
What sort of advice would you have to kind of keep yourself on track, or have you ever been through anything like that? And yeah, because I'm still trying to find better maybe coping methods for when I start to feel myself slide down.
Yeah.
So I don't, get into that hole that I don't want to get out of. That makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Well, first off, I'm glad that you're here with us and that you didn't take action on that. And of course, anyone else out there listening, of course, if you're struggling with this, please talk to someone. There are multiple hotlines out there. And if you have the resources and you're capable of it, please speak with a professional, a therapist. And that would be my first question to you is, do you have someone you can talk to on a weekly or monthly basis that you can just check in with that can kind of help you with this stuff?
Well, the thing is, I've tried therapy a few times.
Yeah.
But I'm here in Utah.
Okay.
And we have a very prominent, religious sect.
I've heard of that.
So
yeah.
The
Scientologists.
They have a lot of fucking kids.
Yeah.
A lot of goddamn kids everywhere. They're just fucking in front of babies everywhere. But
there's so many babies. Yeah.
So many babies. But every therapist that I've ever tried to go to, and this is like over years and years.
Sure.
Yeah.
At some point, usually relatively early on, they're like, "Hey, so what about God? Do you just talk to God?" And then I'm like,
"So,
nah, son.
No, that's horrible." And that's you should, yeah. I mean, to each their own, but I don't think there should be there should definitely be a separation of church and state when it comes to that. I do therapy on Zoom, and my therapist literally could be in a whole other country for all I know. I mean, I happen to know she's in San Francisco, but I had an old therapist that I saw for a very long time, moved to New York, and so he was all the way across the country. And I highly recommend that, not only because it takes away the added step of having to get in your car and drive someplace, which has there's pros and cons. I do miss in-person stuff, but honestly, with the way the world works right now, it's nice, especially with people working from home. It is nice to be like, I'm going to carve out an hour and just talk to someone about anything that's on my mind, whether it be, me in a place where I'm feeling like I want to, self-destruct, or everything's going great and I just want to touch in on a couple of my goals, because that's what a therapist can be used for as well. I kind of look at them as both a doctor and a mental coach. So I would definitely look outside of Utah for any sort of help in that regard. And the benefit of that is not only can you find a bigger pool of therapists, but you might also actually find someone that takes your insurance, which is pretty cool. And then therapy might be free, and so that's an added bonus as well of like you're legitimately getting somewhat free or with the copay mental help. But I just find it really, really important to have that person. I think of them as sort of like a general practitioner or just a doctor that if you have something wrong, you just call them. Why not have someone that can help you out with your mental state? And, maybe you need a little help in the form of medication, or maybe you just need to talk to someone and hear your problems out loud and have that echoed in someone's face, and that'll be just it. But definitely I recommend that for sure.
Yeah, and that is absolutely the answer. But first off, love you calling in with this. It's very vulnerable. That's a hard thing to talk about. But I think that it goes a long way to show that, like, you have a great group of people here that are here to talk to you. You have amazing people in the chat. And I do think that for me, when things get really difficult to deal with and overwhelming and stuff, it's always the calming down and realizing I have a community, whether that community is, my family, my friends, or people on the internet. I think that sometimes you can feel disconnected from all that, but the moment you connect to it, I think it kind of like grounds things differently. And again, it's not like a turnkey solution to stuff, but like you have an amazing community here, and I'm even seeing like the chat pop off now about like just being there for you. I think that's pretty special, man. I think it's something that you can lean into when you need to.
Yeah, and I also want to jump off of that. I mean, I've dealt with very, very similar things. I've been going to therapy since I was 16 years old, dealing with depression, anxiety. So I've dealt with this all, and therapy exactly is the answer if you can afford it and if you can make that happen. But I also will say, like, checking in with yourself is also equally important, of journaling and making sure that you're able to, before the crisis, see how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. That has been insanely important to me in the last year, making sure that, because a lot of the times I would have a breakdown and then I'd be like, okay, now I need to go to therapy. And then the therapy would help. And then I'll have another breakdown. And I'd be like, what's happening here? Checking in with yourself every day goes a long, long way.
I think, and also just making sure, I think there are a lot of things like that you do on a daily basis that may or not be additive to your mental state, that might be destructive to that, namely social media, playing games all night, with or being on Reddit communities or things like that might not necessarily be positive. Things like that go a long way, man. Honestly, like I didn't realize how much anxiety my phone caused me until this last vacation where I totally forgot I had a phone for a while. And I was like, fuck, why am I sleeping so easily? And why am I so relaxed? And why am I noticing birds? Like, oh, it's God's creature, but it's because you're so, if you can unplug occasionally, I hate that term, but if you can do that occasionally for yourself, I think that helps too. A lot of that stuff can go under the category of self-care. Just getting the fuck away from it all, going for a walk.
Rooster596 in the chat says something that's kind of like an additive thing to what you're saying about like getting rid of the phones and all that stuff and getting rid of the stuff that is bringing some of that toxicity into your life. But they're saying that like their dog brings them so much happiness. And I can say, I'm not saying that the solution is to bring responsibility for another life into your life, but it might be, because having my dogs, no matter how bad a day I'm having, just fucking holding these little dudes makes everything 10 times better immediately. Yeah. And honestly, it's just the simple joy of just laying next to one of them and just hugging them, and they're just there just licking and shit. It's like, damn, man, like all of a sudden I feel better. It's like this hit of happiness and love. So
yeah.
And scientifically proven it lowers your blood pressure.
Really?
Yeah. When you hug a dog, like, or when you hug an animal, it lowers your heart rate and it calms you. Has a very calming effect.
Yeah, and I would back that up because I've gone through, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of misdiagnosis of the stuff that I've gone through, Hawks. And when I was at my worst through the pandemic, like it was great to have Lulu to kind of do the 1-2 punch of going out for a walk. Like that was something I made sure to do at lunchtime every day with Lulu. It was a nice way to unplug and refuse to look at my phone and just kind of be there in the moment. So whether it's a pet or just something else, like a different activity, even if it's just by yourself, where you're kind of making sure that you're in that moment, can kind of help you get away from the kind of circular thoughts that you might, at least in my experience, I found myself trapped in from time to time. So,
yeah.
I apologize if you heard my dog barking in the background.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I like dogs.
He's great. His name is Oliver, and he's an asshole, and I love him.
Hell yeah.
It's beautiful.
We all have an asshole, don't we?
All right, brothers. Thank you very much.
I was gonna say,
Sorry
Mr.
to bring
Hawks.
the mood down a bit.
No, you're the
man.
best,
All right,
brother.
brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, people here.
People go wee wee. People go wee wee.
People go wee wee. People go wee wee.
I think that's the special one here. Sometimes we get real about that. I know it is a lot of laughter and fun talking about dumb sex stuff, but on this show, it is nice to be able to get real and share things that are deep down inside of you. And it's nice to have Nick and Tim and Roger here and the whole gang be able to talk about that. And, we might shift gears here and get a little weird afterwards, but take a moment, take a deep breath, let that kind of sink in for a second, and be mindful of yourself and others. And, of course, be mindful of the show and how the flow will go. Of course, this will swing right the opposite direction. So it's not in any intention that way, but it's going to be fun. Thank you, Mr. Hawks, for calling in and getting real.
Much.
We have a lot of callers coming our way, so the fun does not stop. A reminder for you, we are going to the top of the hour, so we have 52 minutes left on today's Love, Sex, and Stuff afternoon special stream right now. We're having a good time with me, Roger, Tim, and Nick, and all of you kind of funny best friends out there. Don't forget you can call into the Discord. A great reminder right now with, the hour that we're sitting on. If you do want to get involved, now is the time to jump into this Discord. Please remember, keep your questions short, concise, to the point, but have fun with it, of course. We don't want to limit all of you, but I do want to remind you that we will try our best to get through everyone. If all of you join, there's 30 people in here. We might not get to you, but we're going to go all the way up till 5 o'clock with you here on the West Coast. So let's bring in our next caller. Hello there, caller. You are now up on the center stage. Welcome in. Please introduce yourself and ask away.
Yo, thank you. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yeah, my name's Martin. This is actually good because we're talking about we all have assholes and we go deep down inside. So
get in there.
Oh boy.
yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on butt pills? Because that stuff, I had a hemorrhoid a couple weeks ago,
Wow.
and it was a game changer. I'm like, wow, that stuff's kind of fun actually. Like,
Did you say butt pillow or butt pills?
Oh, sorry, butt pills, like suppositories.
So suppositories. Okay. Good question. Good question.
Interesting.
I don't have experience.
I've only had to do one in my life, and I think it was I forget. I don't think it was for anything related. Like, I think it was like a antibiotic or something like that. That they were like, you got to shove it up there and get up there real fast.
You shove it up.
Yeah,
I don't ingest it and then it goes down.
No,
You got to get it in.
a suppository
I'll tell you what, I've never done a butt pill. I'm kind of interested now. Wow.
So the
Right,
virtue of
right.
it is that it bypasses, and I want to say it bypasses your liver, so that it doesn't filter anything out and goes straight into your bloodstream. It gets in there fast. That's why when people, if you ever had friends that are boofing stuff, you can get really, really drunk because the alcohol goes straight to your bloodstream. It doesn't get
Don't do
filtered
that,
at all.
everybody.
They're
not
shoving alcohol up their butthole.
Yeah, what you do is
See, I don't fuck around with the
This
butthole.
is what you
I'm gonna
don't.
be
This is what you
honest
shouldn't
with
do.
You just went from left to right, left to right. You were into it,
Mike's
now you're
out.
not into it.
I'm out.
I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, and kids don't do this at home.
Don't do it.
What if I were to tell you, Mike, this weekend
Yeah.
we were gonna grab ourselves some Everclear,
Okay.
soak some tampons.
Oh, okay.
I like where this is going.
No.
Yeah, Rogers.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
I'm listening. No, I don't know. I've never messed with. I don't have a lot of context for this. Tim, do you have anything about the butt
No,
pills?
I mean, I guess when I was little, I have done the suppository pills for. I used to have constipation issues.
yeah, it
when
might
I
have been.
was
Yeah,
young.
that's usually what it's for. Constipation or diarrhea.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I think that was the thing. But yeah, I'm lucky enough that I haven't had a hemorrhoid, so I haven't had to deal with that.
They
But
suck.
Yeah.
They are bad. And
Wait,
you know you
sorry.
get it-
What's your question? Did you just want to talk about-
Yeah, no. So I was like, it's changed my mind because like now I realize like our butts are kind of like a second mouth because once you put that thing in there, it just
bro.
stays.
Open that third eye, bro.
Depending
Right,
on
exactly.
depending on your perspective, they might be our first mouth.
Think about that
So
evolution.
Yeah.
exactly.
God
So
gave
I
us
was
a little trumpet
wondering-
down there, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, so we still haven't got to the question.
Yeah,
What is it?
yeah. So I was wondering if there was like any food or maybe alcohol or drink or drug, I don't know, that you want to take from
So,
the butt.
My
versus
question to
the-
you is, did you ask this question on one of the Greg ways? Because I think I read a question exactly like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of outside voice. Yeah.
So he's been looking for ways for this
Yeah, he
question
wanted
to
to
be
get this.
answered.
He wanted to
I
get this on
wanted
the
to hear
air.
your thoughts.
That's a
Because
great-
Mark, next week Martin's gonna launch a channel called Only Butt Stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's gonna be. I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. I will say this. Just brainstorming.
Let's just brainstorm.
There's nothing really that I could think of that I'd want to reverse engineer on that regard. But I will say this. I took down a 5-layer burrito yesterday, Roger, at 5 o'clock. It had been out for 4 hours. It was ice cold.
I saw
just
it.
like you
I
like
gotta
it.
be honest. I saw it getting cold, and I was like, I want to take
It's
that.
gonna
I
be
wanna
good.
take that.
And for a second, I thought, what if I boofed this thing? What if I just inside it out this burrito?
Boof it.
You know, how would the beans hit different?
Would
if
it
they
go
went
right
in the
back
other
out?
way.
Would it become solid immediately?
Yeah.
Nick's answer to what foods do you want to try in your butt? It's just you go straight to a 5-layer burrito from
Not
Taco
one, not
Bell.
2, not 3, not 4, 5-layer.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I honestly like don't do the alcohol stuff. Don't do any of that.
That
Like,
shit will kill you. Don't do
yeah,
that.
that's
do it.
really,
Don't fuck
really,
with that.
really, really bad. Yeah, I don't have an answer to this.
How about a $5 footlong? You know what I mean?
Five.
Foot,
Five.
$5
$5 foot long.
in my butt.
Mike, you want a $5 BMT? Up
Man, y'all are wild, bro.
So wait, hold
My
on.
butt
Let
holds
me
a
ask you
sacred
question here.
place.
So you did the suppository for the hemorrhoid, and now have you wrote into another show about this, and now you're calling in here. Have you tried this?
Are you chasing the high?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to chase the high now because
Yeah, he's
like
chasing the high.
y'all, it's a fun activity. It was like a little morning ritual, and now that I'm done with it, it's kind of like, damn, I'm missing something.
Are you only in it if it's food or medical related? Could it be for fun? Could it be? Are we talking toys and stuff? Is that in the realm of possibility?
Yo, so I haven't tried the toys. You
Okay.
see, the thing about the suppository, it was a nice gateway because some things are real small. Like they're
Yeah.
like the size of like a little bullet. It's really impressive because you're like, how is this gonna like stay there? And it just stays, y'all. Like, I don't know.
It's just
Yeah,
saying.
up a couple jelly
real
beans.
talk. I would say stay away from the food stuff, just because that's dangerous, and I feel like you can get like you can just get messed up from that. Like you're not supposed to be putting food up there. Like that's just the rules,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
But but like toys and stuff, just make sure you're lubing them up. Make sure that it's like clean and safe and all that.
For the
stuff.
love of God.
But yeah.
No glass.
Yeah, no
glass.
dumb shit. Like be responsible about this. Like it's your body. Treat it like a temple. But yeah, if you're having fun with things
do
up
you-
there, like
Do you have
play
a significant
responsibly.
other?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
But I mean, here's the thing, y'all. Like, I understand currently with food, we're not there yet with the technology, but that's kind of where my head's at. Where,
Okay,
like,
so you're
we
not
just
even
need
in it for like a potential sexual element. You just think that that's like a very efficient
You
way.
like the idea of things being stuck in there, right?
yeah, like
that's what
it's
I'm hearing.
magical. It's like
Now,
I
do you
get
think,
it.
now, is it because
You got to be
like-
careful not get things stuck into like because
No.
like
Right.
dude, that shit happens easy, way easier than you'd think.
Yeah, I got a couple quarters up there still from last year.
Wow.
That's why I keep my change.
Oh God.
Change purse.
I will say, if you do go down the route of like, man, this is a high that I'm trying to chase, you can go to a local sex shop, talk to the person, be like, hey, this is my situation. What do you suggest?
Yeah.
And they might give you some good options. So
They definitely
Go
will.
talk to Gary.
It's
at
way more
Sensations.
common of a thing than you would expect. And if you're getting tantalized and liking what you're feeling from the pill, you can keep it small. You know, maybe work your way up if you want, but
it's the $5 footlong.
like
I
we might
say
not
go
get-
the opposite way. Go get yourself a softball
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
and work and
No,
just
maybe.
don't leave the house that weekend.
This guy has opened up my third eye. Like I'm thinking
Yo,
different now. I have
Go to your
second mouth.
doctor and ask for a suppositor. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
my butt has been a protected
I gotta
area.
tell you what.
Now I'm interested.
I got to go to the ENT doctor next Monday. I'll ask for a suppository right afterward.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I know this is my
Some eye
earache,
drops, do
but
they
can you
come in
give some for my tooth hole?
Do the
My
eye
tooth
drops come up and come in suppository form?
hole? Yeah, just hit me upside down.
Oh,
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for calling
Great
in. Good
question.
luck
call.
on your endeavors.
Yeah.
I'm Martin.
Thanks, y'all.
shout out to that one.
That's
Think
awesome.
about butt stuff. You
That's
know what I
awesome.
mean? I
Say it.
never thought about it. Never do. You know, my
never
butt-
thought about it?
My butt is a protected area.
Mike.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never, no one's ever reached around and said, Mike. You know what I mean? No one's done that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe I become. Maybe I get a little pill. Changes my life. I don't know.
Little boop. Little boop.
Maybe. But right now,
'Cause
I
it does-
protect it.
Like I get what he's saying. There's
It's crazy.
an element of surprise of like it sucks that thing up and you're just like, whoa, it works
Yeah.
the other way.
Once you pass the threshold.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do they call it? In,
Get out of town.
What do they call the black hole in Interstellar? When you pass through the fucking singularity?
Yep. We got a new caller calling in. Let's turn and burn and let's have some fun. New caller, you are now coming up. Please introduce yourself and ask away. Welcome
Hey
in.
guys, can you hear me? My
Mhm.
name's Matt.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt?
It's the event horizon. Sorry, Matt. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I'm gonna call Tim's anus from now on.
Great.
I hope this question's not serious. I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
So, keeping it in the realm of sex stuff,
Mhm.
this weekend is actually me and my wife's 1-year anniversary.
Hey,
So
Congratulations.
congrats.
So we are planning all our things, everything. It's been a great year. We're super happy. But a little bit of background: we both come from fairly conservative, traditional families.
Mhm.
So growing up and everything too, my wife was very like, guys, that's the thing. You know, very sexually liberal, but whatever. Going into our wedding weekend, it was very much, I'm nervous. I want to put everything on the table. And tells me that she is bisexual.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. We have that open line of communication. Go from there. Great wedding weekend. Everything's great. Over the past year, we've kind of had conversations as she's like, how do I didn't have a chance to explore that. I'm married now. We're raised very traditionally,
Mhm.
but how can I incorporate that into our relationship? How do I incorporate that? And I'm trying to be very supportive and very open to everything. So I'm like, hey, we'll have a conversation. Anything comes up. She has since had a one-off and is like, oh, yeah, no, this is me 100%. I'm like, great, cool. We have an understanding of everything. It is now like, but I love you too, and I want to work you into everything. The question I have now is, she's used the terminology of like, she's very happy and open, this being a part of herself in our lives currently. But looking down the future, like we both agree we want to have kids in the relatively near future. And the terminology has been of like, it's a door, and currently doesn't want to close that door. And I want her to be open and free and do what she wants to. But also I have a fairly traditional thing of, family where once we have a kid, I think I want to just be us to be a family unit. And I think that's led to a little bit of confidence issues. We've had conversations about and everything too. But again, how do you balance having your partner happy and be who they want to be, but also kind of prioritizing your needs? And just want to get your guys' kind of thoughts on that.
Well, it sounds great that you're talking the way that you are, and that you have, it sounds like, a lot of the answers already, and there's communication happening from both fronts of what your needs are and what their desires are and where that can kind of fit. I feel like that's the most important part. This is so delicate and complicated. I feel like you are dealing with multiple people, and the more people you add to a relationship, the more dynamics will be at play. And I feel like I have seen more open, like poly style relationships happen, and I have seen just as many like just couple relationships end up getting complicated and into the dirt, just because life can be hard and relationships are hard. And adding more people, I feel like you're just adding the amount of things that can make people's feelings get hurt or whatever it is. But if you're communicating and you're open about it all and you feel confident, like you brought up the word confidence there, and I feel like I want to know where does that come from? Is that, where are you the one not feeling confident, or is she, or where is that?
That is a me thing. She's 100% confident. Like, this is what I want. What I find myself nowadays is, and part of it is just marriage and life, everything of like, things aren't always as hot and spicy, and things aren't always going as great in a relationship. That's just part of the ups and downs. And I've found myself, especially in the sexual part of things, of like, okay, is it because this is just our up and down, or is it like just a me thing? And maybe she's wanting to go and explore with someone else and everything too. And so it's the, being the one because we're married, but also like not being the only one.
It's tough stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hear about stuff like this a lot because I have a lot of single friends who engage in stuff like this, because a lot of people are a lot more progressive than my friend group were when we were coming up, when we were all single and or partnering up. But yeah, I mean, the same rules generally apply across the board. And I honestly think that by the time you guys get around to having kids, I don't know if that's going to be too far down the line or if it's like right around the corner. I imagine you guys are a year in, maybe you're going to wait a couple more years. I think if you are comfortable with it now and you're experimenting with it now, that might run its course. That might be a thing that, you guys do and it's fun. But ultimately, I've heard from people, I've never done this myself, but I've heard from people that the fantasy of it is a lot more alluring than the actual nuts and bolts mechanics of making it happen, because you are then dealing with another human being, and that added dynamic to the relationship can be tough. It can be very overwhelming, and ultimately it can just be something that you experiment with and you move on. But I will say this. I have a lot of friends that have children, and they don't have time for any of this. So if you're worried that that this is going to be something ongoing when you get there, you probably, it might take care of itself. But ultimately what Tim's talking about is true. Open and honest communication every single day is the way to go. And if she wants to continue this when you guys have kids, I mean, look, man, that's part of life, is making sure your spouse's needs are fulfilled. And if you're comfortable with it now, you guys can absolutely find a way to be comfortable with it later.
And that comfort can change, and you can express that, and you'll have to deal with that as that goes. I think that there's multiple things at play here that y'all need to like kind of sit down and really have a heart to heart with yourselves and with each other about the bisexuality of it, but then also the monogamy of it, and where those kind of fall in the same lane and where they differ, and if both of you are in the same place with an understanding of the timeline on all of that and what that means of her trying to find herself an experiment. But what is the end goal of that? Is the end goal being with you, or is the end goal being with you and others? To what extent? Where are you comfortable with that? When kids come into play, like, I just feel like you're at a good place now to be able to talk about all those things. But I definitely would look deep within myself first to know truly what do you feel, and not just, oh, I want her to be happy, but what would make you happy, and then figure out what makes her happy, and then try to figure out, can this work?
Yeah. I mean, look, if you're like, I'm like 5% uncomfortable with this, 95%, this could be awesome. That's different than being like, hey, I'm really worried this might end my relationship with my wife when we have an infant here. That's only you can tell us where your comfort level is with this stuff. And look, stuff like this is exciting, and there's a lot of emotions built into it. So if you're more excited than you are like scared of it, maybe that tells me something. But if you're like, hey, I'm just doing this for her and I really don't want to be doing this, then you really got to have that conversation with her right now.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
cool.
and her
Right.
going on the other side of it and me now like, okay, it's like, okay, this is the next step. And do you want to do that is kind of where we're at and everything. I mean, I've heard you guys talk last time. Threesomes can be fun. And so we'll find out how that goes and everything too. But again you play everything by the ear.
I don't think that, let's put it this way. The word threesome does not evoke a bad emotion, right? I mean, let's just put this all out of the table. Good for you, right? If this works out, this could be a very, very exciting new dimension to your sexual relationship. Just make sure it works out and everyone's comfortable with it. And then if it's awesome, you guys can figure out a way to make this work. Spoilers, you don't have to stop having awesome sex when you have kids. I don't, if you can figure out how to do that, please let me know. Like, please let everyone know. Write a book about it. Don't let the kids watch. Again, what's our rule? If the kid can climb, put him outside.
Yep. Put them outside.
You know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah.
Good luck with the threesomes.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another one of these. Probably we'll do one every. Again, call back. Let us know how it's going.
Yeah. Good luck.
Awesome.
Honestly,
well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Look into yourself, man. like make sure that you feel good and confident about it all. Because you bringing up that confidence word makes me feel a little shaky about stuff. But best of luck to you, man.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks, homie. Guys, we're having some fun this afternoon. It's a nice, delightful afternoon.
Raining outside.
We have callers. Is it really raining?
No, it's just on our monitor.
Inside,
Okay.
Yeah.
We have callers still. We have our about 30-minute warning right now. So this will be kind of your final, hey, if you want your questions answered, please come get into the voice chat, join the Discord right now. Make sure to line up. We will try to get through as many of you as possible, but we do have a 5 o'clock roll call here. So let's go to another caller. Caller, welcome in. Please introduce yourself. Jump right on up, and let's have some fun with our next one once they accept the phone call.
Let's
Cool.
accept.
There they are.
Yeah, they are.
New caller.
What's up?
You know, we don't do that enough.
We don't. We definitely don't.
We don't do that enough. Thanks for that.
That's my
What's
childhood.
up? We got to do that more. I'll tell you what.
God, they nailed it.
How are you guys doing? You good? Okay, so reporting live here from Sunday morning here in the UK.
Right on.
So arachnids
Sunday
or-
morning? No,
Yeah.
you're in the future.
Yeah, man.
It's Saturday.
It's Friday right now.
What the
Wait,
fuck day is it?
Saturday. Sorry, I'm a little
I was like,
Okay.
are you in Australia? I thought it was like in Australia, one of those countries so far away.
It's fine, semantics. But so I'm calling in. Basically, obviously big fan. Blah, you guys are great. Whatever.
Thank
Not
you.
blowing
We know.
smoke up
Yeah,
your
it's
ass.
fine. Thank you. You can keep going.
So
That's fine.
I was calling because I wanted to get you guys' advice on like dating and how to go about that first initial date and whatnot, and basically in terms of activities. So basically, I'll give you an example. Went out with someone recently. Well, we were talking for a bit, and she was like, "I want to do an escape room, blah blah blah." And then I looked up how much escape rooms. I was like, "Fuck no!" I just viewed a while ago, and I don't have. They're more expensive than you would think. Some of them, especially the ones near me. So I was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that shit." But didn't want to give broke boy energy, so I was just like, you know what? Escape rooms mean you're in a room. Like, it could be boring. I don't know. What if I'm just dumb and I don't know how to unlock it? And I was just like, blah. So anyway, we ended up going to bowling. But I've had a similar thing happen before because, single lad, whatever, trying to go out, going on a couple of dates. I'm not, I don't know, out in town constantly. But anyway, and trying to line that up. And really what I'm getting at is, how do you balance that financial with trying to get an interest and activity for a date? And I know you guys are probably going to be like, oh, do something creative, like go to a park and knit her a basket. And I don't know.
Good
I want to do
shit.
something.
That is what Nick was
about
going to
to say
say.
that
Nick
shit.
does that.
Sorry, hold on a second. Delete. That was my only idea.
No, dude, this is rough, man.
yeah.
Like, yo, dating is hard out there, especially with the state of the world now with apps and stuff of how easy it is to get access to new dates. first dates are so expensive. There's so much on the line. And that's why I think it comes down to the amount of people that do the coffee dates these days. Keep it kind of chill on the easy side, both time-wise and financially, of not going too hard on it. But what you're talking about of like actually you've now made it to the point you're going on dates and like there's some level of expectation. Yeah, man, you really got to pick and choose your battles with that. And like my best advice to you would be do not bankrupt yourself going on dates. Like it is so important for you to be stable and like yourself to be okay before you start worrying about adding someone else to that equation, because that'll just make you really sad really fast and really broke, because shit costs a lot of money out there. But I do feel like trying to find things that don't cost money that could be fun. So when I was younger, I didn't have too much money, and the library was such a great place because you can go to the library and no, Mike, hold on.
Let's litter a basket too.
Hold on, let's litter a goddamn basket. No. With your library card that was free, you could rent video games. You could rent movies. Like the library isn't just a bunch of fucking nerd movies. You know what I mean? And these days, I think libraries have even more things to offer than ever. Now, I'm not suggesting you take people to a library.
Yeah, no, it smells bad.
No. I'm saying there's a lot of places you can go that have fun activities like escape room type stuff that you don't actually need to pay a ticketed price for it. There's these game rooms and stuff that you can go to and just play board games with people.
That's true.
You don't actually need to fucking pay for that much. You order a drink, maybe you order some tater tots or something, but like you keeping the price down, but the activity's high. And I think that is kind of the key thing you want to find. I'm not telling people to go to the library.
No.
I'm
make it clear.
Resources.
I'm on the opposite side. Take more people to dates to the library, because that's great. I've had a couple great hangouts at the library.
Have you been to a date at a library? Though?
Oh yeah, smart girls.
A first date?
Smart
girls. No, not a first date, but like a couple of times. Like I think it's a fun activity to like get to know each other of like your interest in like reading and shit. So if there's someone a little bit educated and smarter than us dipshits over here. So
you know,
I'm just saying.
Your boy Mike is the only single one on the panel. Unfortunately, I am not the one to look for financial advice.
Yeah, you're terrible
I'm just
about it.
Swiping that god.
Mike will be taking every date to the French Laundry.
That is true.
Swiping the library card. Man, you know, we are lucky in our area. There's a cool little pool hall that is like a nice, good bar. It's clean. It's friendly, and it's like you can play pool. You can relax. It's not expensive, right? Like there are things, you know. As I try to date right now, I've gone on 2 dates recently, and you know we haven't talked about that yet. But I went on 2 first dates. Of course, it was to a bar and to Tony's Pizza. Both were fine. You know what I mean? They were a little spendy, whatever. But I haven't gotten past that. I'm still before you.
Hold on, sorry.
Right
what's
now.
this? Spendy? Explain that.
Expensive.
Spendy. They're a little expensive.
Spendy.
Going to Tony's. You know, and you know me.
Tony's
I'm going to
Pizza,
get
you drop a
meatballs. I'm
lot.
going to get a margarita. We're going to get another pizza. You know what I mean? Then we got to get
one
gelato.
margarita.
I will say, Slushy in the chat said hanging out in IKEA is a fun date. I don't think so.
Hang out. This is what I
That
was
would be
gonna say.
fun.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
I can go
yeah,
see
fantastic.
tag. I can see tag in
I'm
IKEA.
scared
Sounds
now.
fun.
The
Target, great date.
Oh, Target's a great date.
Target one.
No, okay. I feel like I mean yes and no, right? Like
Unfortunately,
first
we
date,
don't
we're
have
talking
Target.
first,
You're
third
not-
date. Like no,
You're not getting a second date. If
The
your
answer
first
here
date's
is
at
like
Target.
sadly, like we can say
Well, you know
parks
what
all
it
day.
is?
What?
It's farmers markets. It's like street fairs. It's like you find out what's happening in your local town and maybe an area that's 30 minutes away. Like when I went to the world's smallest 4th of July parade. Perfect, easy first date. Oh, the whole street's going to be popping with the community. It's going to have pop-up tents. We can go get $5 street tacos and have some fun and smile and laugh. That's where you want to start looking if you're going to stick on a budget, but still make it fun. We're outside. We're enjoying ourselves. That's where we want to be.
It's about getting outside of like the normal bar restaurant vibe that is so easy to get into, right? Like going
Like libraries, man.
That was
not
so
libraries, not and finding like those websites that show like the random events that are happening.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know what this is.
I would say Barnes and Nobles if those were still a thing.
dude.
But, like,
they are.
Barrett,
but not in our.
no,
area,
unfortunately, I don't think we have any left
Wait,
over here.
is that a bookstore?
Yeah.
So we used, but it's not just
These
a
fucking
bookstore.
nerds are just giving you all the
Barnes and
bookstore,
Noble,
coffee shop. That's a great.
Yeah, the
place.
bookstore coffee shop.
We don't have that in England yet.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Great
guys.
dates. You can get magazines. You can hang out. You can do that. I will say, my buddy said he has the best first date. Like, and I think it was more for like Tinder stuff. So I think it was a little bit more geared toward hooking up. But just to break the ice, I was like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Do they just come? Like, do you just come over, or whatever?" He's like, "Well, you guys just want to get to know each other first." He goes, "What we like to do is," he's like, "I'll suggest let's go out for an ice cream and a walk."
Not bad.
And you get a cone and you walk around, and then it's like in the time it takes you to finish a cone, you know if this is going to go anywhere, and if it doesn't, you go, "Well, it was really nice meeting you," and you go on. So I think stuff like that is good. But honestly, it's like the things that used to kill me were the fucking dinners. Dropping $100 at dinner, dropping $50. I was like, dude, I can't do this shit. And that's all like I could think of to do. So like, drinks can be cheap if you're drinking beers. They can get expensive, but you don't have to drink that much. But I always like the late night bar. Like, hey, let's meet up at like 9. Hang out at a bar and see where this goes. I think that was always kind of cool. You can kind of skip dinner that way by just suggesting going out a little bit later. But then at the end of the day, honestly, too, it's like, I hate to say it, but the expectation shouldn't 100% be on your shoulders to be fitting the bill for all this stuff, right? You are dating someone, so I know it's hard to broach that conversation, but that's
you get
sort
that
of
look
like a
at the end, and it's expected. But
I know it's expected, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but I'll tell you this: it's not forever. If you get 6 months in, if you get a year in, you do your time, man. You get to a point where you just can have that conversation, be like, "Hey, we're together now. Like, eventually, we're going to be sharing finances. Can you please buy the Denny's? You know, can you please get the late night eggs or whatever's going on like that?
Interesting.
You can make it work."
I find a lot of girls are willing and more than eager to split the bill on these first dates recently. I think they are like,
Well,
hey,
that's the
I'll pay
difference
my half.
between-
Let's meet in the middle. Like, let's not put the onus on you anymore.
That's why America always wins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why America?
That's why the UK will never take us back.
Oh, that's tough.
Do you understand that they're
tough.
not
They'll
willing to
never
do
take
half
us
the
back.
work? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
They're never going to get us back. Sorry.
Well, I'm
True.
glad that
We're
you're
still
going
using
on first
steam
dates.
engines
I'm
over here.
jealous because I haven't hit that point yet.
What's that?
I haven't gotten to first dates like he.
Yeah,
has,
I mean,
you know?
look, I don't know, Tim.
I'm still on texting nonstop just for weeks on end.
How long?
dude,
how long
Mike,
did
I'm
you,
there too, man.
How long did you date Gia before you were like, you just split shit now? You know what I mean?
Oh, it was pretty quick. Maybe a month.
Yeah. For me and Dee, it was like, hey, and she'd be like, I'm just going to pay for the sushi because you got it last couple times. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it doesn't have to be like a big old conversation, but you know, honestly, if you're with someone who's always expecting you to pay, I don't know, that might be a conversation you have to have with yourself.
It's time to take back the farmer's market. A nice
That's a
cruise
great
with
one.
ice cream down the local block.
Why are you getting up so early for a date?
No, that's a great one. That's a great idea.
afternoons. There's
Farmers
Saturday
markets aren't
afternoons.
early anymore these days.
Yeah.
Like, they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
Cool Greg, like there's a farmer's market around my house. Cool Greg's just out there.
He's
every
there, walking
weekend.
the street.
That's awesome.
Cool Greg. At a farmers markets have changed. All right.
I think it's time to switch up because a lot of people that I talk to on these apps aren't in the mood, have done the dinner date, the bar dates all the time, right? And they're cool with it, but like I think they're looking for something a little bit different as well. So try something different.
I'm not trying to work that hard. I don't want to walk around that much. Let me sit down and have a cocktail and talk to you. You know what I mean? Me walking out in the sun.
Yeah.
And first off, I don't want, you know, then I got to be upright. They got to see how short I am.
Yeah. That's true. You want to be. You want to be.
Like me and Mike are the same height right now. Think about
Exactly.
that.
You want
Same
the
height.
adjustable chairs.
Look at this. Look at this.
I
Look at
don't know
this.
about
Look
that.
at
That's,
this.
you know, honestly, can I be honest with you guys about something? First off, I love being married. I'm so fucking glad I'm
love
married.
it. I know,
I
thank
love my wife. I fucking love her so much. I will never leave this woman, and I'm trying desperately not to fuck it up. But every time I hear about the height restrictions on Tinder, it makes me so scared that I'm like, baby, you can never leave me.
No.
I will never get another date. Did you know that fucking Hinge, you can pay extra? And then they don't even see you if you're under 6'1". It just never goes into their inbox.
That's why I got you those
It's
shoes.
crazy out here, man.
That's why I got you those shoes. 2.5 inches.
Crazy, man.
Go from 5'10". I'm 6 foot now.
Bro, you gotta be 6 foot. It's 6'1" now.
Dude, it's so stupid. I'm 6'2", and it's just all like I don't even like put it, or I don't care. And everyone's like, "Oh, you really 6'2", bro? Go prove it." And I was like, "It doesn't matter. Like, what? What is wrong with you people?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
Everyone's gone nuts."
That's the standard. It's the
guys are the
standard.
best.
And I just
Oh.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop clogging the airways.
Have
That's how I'm
fun
getting
with
bored.
this
Thank you
shit.
so much.
Don't
Good luck.
spend a bunch. Enjoy yourself.
sorry. I
Yeah.
can't measure
Peace,
up.
guys.
You're the best. You did good
God.
on that one.
We need to do
You
these
did
at
good on that
night
one.
because holy fuck.
Get a
Nick
couple
is-
Roger, you're not
cocktails.
ready for me at night.
Yeah,
You're not ready for me at night.
You are
Nick
though.
at
Like
night.
this is episode 1. You'll get better. We have a very special caller. I'm going to bring on right now.
God.
So
What?
There it goes.
please, everybody, get ready for our next caller. You are now live on the stage. Let's see who this person is and if they got the juice.
Hey, yo.
What's up?
What up?
Hey, yo.
Craven Moorhead.
Craven
yeah,
Moorhead,
okay.
Moorhead,
Moorhead,
Wisconsin.
Craven.
Right here.
It's Craven.
Okay.
What's going on, boys?
What's up, Craven?
What's up, Craven?
So I was listening to that caller before, talking about sticking up those suppositories right up that ass,
Up
and it
the
got me
dooch.
thinking about the ass some
Ooh.
more, man. But I'm talking about something else about the ass. I'm talking about exposing that ass to the sun. I'm talking about sunning that perineum.
On the-
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
I
You've
watched
seen this on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I've been doing it for the last 6 months, and let me tell you, boys, it is the wave of the future.
Yeah.
What do you think about sunning your asshole?
I've
never heard of this. I'm looking it
I
up.
think I vaguely know about this. Can someone or can you give me the rundown of what's going on?
You grab the legs.
Okay.
You lay on your back. You just pull it kind of up.
Okay, but why?
It's a trendy wellness practice that it involves exposing your taint to the sunlight. It has no proven benefits, and it's a lot of potential health risks.
A lot of.
No proven benefits. Let me tell you the benefits.
Oh,
Your
great, tell us.
asshole is tanned.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Cool.
You go gym tan laundry. You don't want to fucking leave your asshole untanned. Say you got your chick rooting around down there. Oh, you got a bleach white asshole? No, you want a nice, crispy, tanned asshole.
You want it brown like a Hershey Kiss?
Hi, Craven.
I mean-
Roger here. I have a lot of questions about
Absolutely,
this.
absolutely.
So let's start off with why are you doing this? Was it a bit at first? Did you actually want the health benefits? Like, why did you start this?
Why am I doing it? I saw it on fucking TikTok.
Gotta do it
That's
on
a
TikTok.
Craven.
Answer. That's the
That's
right
what Craven
answer.
does.
Do it on
That's what
TikTok.
Craven does.
And
Gotta
how
do it on
many
TikTok.
how many times a week?
I'm on TikTok right now, looking at it.
Butthole sunning. He typed in butthole sunning on TikTok.
Oh,
Look
this
at this
guy's
fucking,
doing it. This
look at
guy.
this. Look at this guy. Of course, it's all dudes.
Well, here's the thing. There's you know Chad and JT.
Yeah.
They go deep.
Oh my God! Butt chugging the sun.
But chugging
This
of the
seems
sun.
like some-
Butt chugging the sun, Roger says, and he
Please
ain't
name
wrong.
this. Please name this episode "Butt Chugging the Sun." Love and
This
sex.
seems
Question.
like something we need to get on right now.
Whoa!
This seems like
I'm seeing it.
Boys,
He's
you're
just-
missing out here.
he's
You're
chugging
missing
it.
out.
He's chugging it.
Not only is it tanning it, it is sterilizing it. It's just
I don't know about that. I don't know if we can
Clean it out. Clean it out.
Or how many times a week, a month are you doing this? Like, what are we?
I'm
what are we
talking about 3 times a day.
Yeah. No, you're
morning,
not.
noon.
You got- you need-
listen.
Tap.
You,
No, you're fucking
no.
not.
You got to get all that angles.
gotta
It's
get
also
it out
stretching
there.
it out.
You gotta get
go
it out
high
there.
noon, you get full exposure.
There's a
you
lot
get
of
the little
folds in your
evening
butthole.
sun
We're
on
looking
the
at the pro
angle.
strats.
No,
he's
he's
dropping
not. I mean,
high noon
high
for
noon.
full exposure.
There's no shot, Craven. There's no way you're doing this.
Boys, I'm telling you,
Okay,
it is
that's
the wave of the
wild.
future.
Craven, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna
I mean,
try it, Craven. Thank you. My whole body's gonna
Where?
be pink.
Where are you gonna try it?
Kevin's
Don't worry about
backyard.
Thank you, Craven, for your phone call. We appreciate you.
Have a good one. Send your asshole, boys.
Oh,
The
Craven,
next time Mike walks out of the studio, do not follow him.
Craven Moorhead always giving you what you need, man. You gotta tan that butthole, bro.
Fuck yeah, Craven.
Butt chug the
Fuck
sun.
yeah, butt chug that sun, bro.
I hope I get those TikToks for the rest of my days. That shit's great. But we have more callers. Of course, this is your 20-minute roll call. Of course, we have more
fucking 10
callers. Let's jump in right now with our next caller.
Perfect.
Next caller, please take us away. Hello, next caller. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
How's it going,
No,
man?
I was saying, Mike. Yeah.
It is Ignacio.
Ignacio.
I knew, but I knew they would know. You know what I mean? I saw it. I saw it. I know.
Yeah. I'm glad they know my voice. I was saying, Mike, you are a treasure.
Oh,
honestly.
thanks, homie. Well, right after I tan
probably-
this butthole, you're gonna be saying that because I'm gonna be the best.
Diamond in the rough.
I think you got it, Mike. I think. Oh, you know what? Folsom's this weekend. You can go tan your butthole. at
Oh,
Folsom.
fuck yeah, you can. Don't look at me.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Assless chaps
is
with
gonna
the
do it.
spread out.
I'm gonna be like, group, leave me for 20 minutes. I'm just gonna do it.
Good.
Let
You're
it
gonna start a
happen.
movement
Good.
at Folsom. It's gonna be
Just
great.
wear assless chaps.
I'll bring a sign.
Sunhole bleach. Sunhole chugging. Butthole chugging.
Tan your butthole
we
here,
take turns spreading cheeks.
and we're chugging that sun up our butthole. Oh my god. Okay, this could be it.
This could
be it.
This could be it. It's like
what
leading.
does that mean?
It's like leading a yoga class, but I'm leading a butthole tanning class.
I get it, but like this could be it for your life. Like this is your new.
This
home.
could be it.
Like,
They bring me around the globe. They
Keep
bring me
going.
around the
It
globe.
becomes a superstar.
This
He's Mr. Worldwide.
Ignacio, I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
what's up?
No,
Sorry about that.
Man, I'm way too stunned after what's been going on here.
Perfect.
What's going on, man? How you been since last time we talked?
I've been good.
Good.
Wait, no, Tim, you were on the podcast where Greg told you about my cancer, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer,
Okay, that's not good.
but I already got the surgery. I got
Oh.
my thyroid taken out, and so far so good.
Hey, congratulations! I'm glad to hear
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. On to my question, since I know that we don't have much time. You guys are what some would consider adults. You
I haven't met those people.
My-
So okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
some people might.
You might be responsible adults. Roger, you are, I know, new to that. And
Yeah.
so I would like your guys's, I don't know, opinion or guide. Let's call it a guide. The introduction to adulting. You've just been out in the world. You are out of college. You are starting your new job. What are the tips that one has to know, or the things that one has to know about being an adult? I don't know. Is there
No.
something with taxes?
May I take the
saving
first
up?
part? May I take the
Okay,
first part?
sure. Yeah, I'm so excited. to hear
Something
Can't
that
wait
I
to see where
yeah,
this
it's
goes.
gonna be
something
great.
that I've
Yeah.
learned a valuable lesson on, and I would impart to others. Work on your budget. Work on
Yeah.
your finances
Get your
right away.
finances in order.
Right away.
Okay,
Work
good.
on it. Thank you.
Mike,
Number one,
I'm glad
no,
you
over
you got
everything
that.
else, just fucking lay down the budget and the
Yeah.
finances.
I will say that, and also like if you eat out a lot or you don't know how to cook, learn how to fucking cook. Like that is a big one.
Take DoorDash, delete that app.
Fucking
right there.
delete
Yep.
that app. But yeah, that is a big one. When I moved out and when I started growing, getting older, about to moved out to my parents' house. That was a big one of like learning how to cook, cooking for myself. You save so much money and you learn a valuable skill.
I mean, I agree. I think that's the hardest thing to do when moving to adulthood is get your finances in order and start understanding that. Because I mean, I had great parents growing up. I had my dad would file my taxes for me. He would tell me like, "This is what you owe. This is what you got to do." And he would like, my dad used to just be like he sat me down and was like, "This is how you make just a very bare bones budget sheet." Taught me how to use Excel, those things like that. But man, when you get out on your own and suddenly you're responsible for that stuff, it becomes infinitely more real, a lot more daunting. And it becomes a very easy thing to procrastinate on because you're it's so fucking anxiety inducing that you're just like, I'll put that away. I'll go play a video game. I'm not going to worry about that shit anymore. Like most problems in life, the sooner you address them and the more head on you address them, the better it's going to be in the long run for you. And so that's just shit. And it's like, just get over it, learn to love it, learn to love managing your finances. And you will be all the more better off for when you're 40 because that shit goes by like that. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I would say you talking about a job fresh out of college. It's funny because like the school system is built to kind of like introduce you to life in so many different ways of like meeting friends and sharing, and then like the basics of learning and all that stuff, and like realizing you have interests. And as you kind of go from elementary to middle to high school to college, etc., there's kind of just a whole process to it all that like you learn as you go and it all builds. And then when you get into the job force, it's kind of just a free for all where all of a sudden everybody, doesn't matter how old or young you are, you're all on equal playing fields to an extent, and just the rules change and no one really explains the rules to you. So I feel like something that I'm very lucky that I got to do that I would recommend to you if you are in one of your first like real quote unquote jobs out there is to really pay attention to how shit works and like try to learn what different people's roles are at the company you're at and why they do things and how it all works together and the structure of teams and managers and all that stuff. Because when you start to learn how it works, it becomes a lot simpler than when you don't know and you really feel like you have no guidance, no understanding of where you're going. Once you realize, just like in school, when you're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I have no idea. And then there's the moment you're like, that's what I want to do. And then it keeps going. Once you get to a job, you then need to do that all over again and no one's helping you. But I think the key thing is people want to help you. People want to inherently, I would say most people, want to be there, especially when they're older than you and you're younger. They want to be able to help you. It makes them feel good. you gain something from it. And I think it starts working the other way too, where it's like you get to learn from people younger than you. It's been amazing working with Roger the last couple years because I get to learn an entirely different perspective and so much shit that I definitely wouldn't know because I'm stuck in my old man ways. And I can apply that to Nick the other way of just like how much I learned from him over the years and stuff. But I just think that really getting to know people and listening to them and honestly taking the elders' advice, like listening to people that are older than you, because as much as you want to fight it, they know more than you. They have more experience, and you don't need to agree with them or whatever. Right. But you should listen.
I second that, and I think going forward, I've talked about this before, but I think the one piece of advice I wish I'd known, specifically going into production, right, or any artistic background, is knowing what you want to do is paramount, right? You can't get to your destination if you don't know where you're going, right? So having a vision for your life that it might be cloudy, it might not be 100% realized, it might not be in focus, but having a direction to go in is incredibly important, especially in your early 20s. Once you have that, and I wish I had known this when I was in my 20s, find someone like Tim's talking about who can mentor you through that. That is a very real thing. People have them. I had just never heard about this shit until I was in my 30s. And someone's like, oh, you don't have a mentor? I was like, no, I don't have a fucking mentor. I'm in online media production. I'm like, yeah, but it's still production. There's multiple people out there that you can identify and reach out to and say, hey, I'd like to learn from you and have you mentor me. And people do like it, man. It's a really cool, coveted position that you can fulfill in someone's life. So that's why I would just like to offer it right now to Roger. Roger, now here's the deal. I'll be your mentor, but remember our deal. When I'm 85 years old, you're just going to get a text that say, Roger, it happened.
Yep, it happened.
It happened.
I so many fucking stupid bits
He's
that you
so
remember.
good and it comes
like, you
back.
remember these
It
bits
comes
like
back.
6 months
It
later.
comes back. Shake his hand.
It happened. Shake it.
Yeah. Thank you,
Nick, we
Ignacio,
agreed.
for
You're
calling.
gonna text Roger poo poo.
Yep. Let's keep it moving because we have 10 minutes left, and I want to get through at least 2 more callers. So let's.
Glad you're doing well, Ignacio. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Wait, before I go, Mike, you mentioned a pizza place before.
Tony's.
Wasn't it? Tony's. Don't
Always.
forget, you once promised me that you would take me to Tony's one day.
Ignacio, we had square pie guys. I'm gonna take you to Tony's next time you're here.
Wow.
We had square pie guys.
You promised.
Great stuff. All right, let's bring up another caller. Thank you, Ignacio.
Bye, Ignacio.
10-minute roll call for the boys here on the panel and production over there. So let's see where we go with our next phone call. Coming in right now. Welcome in, caller. You are now live with the boys. Call us up. Let us know.
How's it going, Mike? How's it going, boys?
What up,
mate?
What's up? My name's Gary, and I'm calling in to ask if any of you guys have experience about long distance. Now, I'm married about 1.5 years now, and we're long distance because of visa reasons.
Okay.
So it's been difficult. We're at a time difference also where my 9 a.m. is her 5 p.m. So literally, she's leaving work. I'm going to work.
As you're going to work,
It's difficult. So here are my 2 caveats. I don't want the suggestions of watch something at the same time together, and then the other one I don't want is, well, maybe a little bit of FaceTime sexy time, because those are the 2 obvious ones, and they're great. But if any of you guys have any other interesting suggestions of try to, make use or trying to make some positive time out of the time that we're unfortunately apart, I'd really appreciate it.
I think Tim's the one to take this one.
Yeah, I have been in a couple long distance relationships actually, and only one of them started that way. The person I was with before Gia was in Texas, so that was like inherently long distance. And then before that, someone I was with started here and ended up going to college in New York, so there was a bit of that, but then that didn't last too long. But even with Gia, who I've now been with almost 10 years, which is wild. We were together for almost 2.5, and then she went to grad school in Philadelphia. So we were for about 1.5 years long distance, but we had the luxury of having a good foundation to start with. And we also knew that that would end. I think that having that end date to be able to look at it, knowing, all right, she has 4 semesters of this to do. Once that's over, she's coming home. It made it a lot easier. Sorry, I missed this. Do you guys have an end date to this?
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem is like with visa kind of stuff, you end up having false hope sometimes. We're trying to make Canada happen maybe in the meanwhile while we're waiting on America. We were together for 6 years, in the same country before we're trying to make the states happen, and then it got complicated, and now she has to wait outside the country. But yeah, it's the end date has been slippery, which has made it really tough.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's really, really, really tough. And I don't have any like great suggestions necessarily in terms of like long-term stuff that's going to make this better, because like you already said, you're doing the things that are the quote-unquote easy parts of it all. But one suggestion that I do have is next time you go to see her, this is a weird sneaky thing, but I did this to G when she was in Philadelphia, and it was the best long con that I've ever done. So you know how people do like scavenger hunt type things where it's just like, oh, like we'll go around the city. It'll be a fun little date to do of like fun destinations, and she has to figure out the whole thing, whatever. I did that, but in her apartment in Philadelphia. And I just hid a bunch of shit in her house, but in places I knew she wouldn't actually look, like the back of her freezer. And like weird behind a painting and shit like that. And it was all numbered. And 6 months later, after I went to visit her, I called her and I was like, hey, look in this one place. And she opens it and there was like a note, and then the next like 3 hours was just her finding shit around her house, dude. And it fucking made her life.
That's
she brings it up all the time.
That's really cool.
It was the long con. You know what I mean? Like you had to plan that shit out and then like hope and pray she didn't randomly find it. But
I mean,
she did,
even if she did,
awesome.
it's cute. Who cares, right? That's
exactly,
cool.
exactly. Yeah. So that doesn't necessarily help you for like being able to do that all the time.
No, it's a great suggestion. That's a great
I
suggestion.
think that's an awesome thing to do. And then like you guys will talk about it for the rest of your lives.
That's a really good suggestion. That's great.
I love that.
Unfortunately, I've never been in a long-term relationship, or not long-term relationship, long-distance relationship. The 11 years I've been married doesn't count. So I can't help you there, buddy. But it's really hard. But you guys love each other, and you're gonna get through it. And just knowing that you're gonna get through it and figure it out, just have faith in that, and try to stay as positive as possible. And I don't know what your financial situation is, but if you can obviously travel there once a month or every couple months, that's gonna go a long way. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just before I leave, I want to say thanks for your proposal suggestions and tips a couple years ago, Tim. I think it was like 3 years ago, and that I definitely used them a year and a half ago when I proposed. So
hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Right.
One last thing to add that I forgot is that I recorded the intro to the whole thing when I was in Philadelphia in her room. And so what I did, I didn't call her. I just sent her a video out of the blue, and it was me in her room. It was awesome.
I love it.
You had to make it clear within the first few seconds, like this is an old video. I'm not here.
Exactly.
Dear Gia, I'm hiding someplace in your apartment.
Do you want to play a game? Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. I love planning scavenger hunts. I've done that in the past with relationships.
That's awesome.
So,
But when you do it across the goddamn world, it's badass.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Great calling.
All right. Well, great talking to you guys, man.
Great
and
talking to you.
good luck with the rocket money, Mike.
Thank you. I will sign up. Boys, we have 3 minutes till 5 o'clock. I will put it up to you all. I'm looking at you, big boss man. You have one caller left. Technically, you have two, but we'll put one caller left on the board. It's your call. Do you want to take it or do you want to hang up?
We're doing 2 calls.
You want to do both of them?
We're doing these 2.
Wow, that's Tim.
We're
Okay.
Keeping it tight,
short.
people.
Here we go. Then we're going to do it.
Okay.
2 calls. We're going to make it happen. Bringing up a caller right now. Hello, caller. You are on the clock. Keep it short. Keep it quick. Let's have some fun.
All right. Keep it quick. I'm recently coming out of a long-term depressive episode. I lost my job. I'm single and living at home with my mom. And as I'm starting to come out of it, I'm just trying to look for what I'm doing next and how to recover. I'm almost 30. And so it's just like, oh man, I'm kind of like back to square one. So, do you guys have any suggestions on like coming out of like long-term depression? I know Roger said he's been in therapy for a long time. So, if you guys have anything.
So look, there's therapy is always the right answer when it comes to this stuff. Having people to talk to is the right answer for all of this stuff. There is no one size fits all answer when it comes to what you're talking about here. And I know there's a couple adages in life that can just sound annoying when you hear them over and over, but like the time heals all wounds and all this stuff. But the older you get, the more you realize it's actually just the truth, and you're just annoyed at the fact that it's the truth. I think another one of those, to some extent, is shit'll hit you when you're not looking for it, and you just need to kind of like be there and allow things to happen. One of my really, really good friends is in a very similar situation to what you're talking about, and has really been put through it the last 5 or so years. Like his entire life, like went to shambles, and everything seemed great, and then everything fell apart. And he tried dating. That just got him in an even worse place because it's hard out there.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And recently, he was hanging out with this group of friends that's separate from me. And somebody had a single friend and they got introduced. And she also had a horrible situation recently. And they just hit it off. And things are just going well. And his life is just on an upswing. And it's not just because he is like dating somebody. It really helped him kind of like find happiness in himself in a different way. And like, it's just, I didn't want to say I was giving up on him ever being happy again, but it was getting close to being like, oh man, this is just what it is. And to see that turnaround, it just reminded me anything is possible. No matter how bad it is, it could get better.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to speak in adages, of course, but we all remember the seminal film, The Dark Knight. It's always darkest before the dawn. That is life, man. Life kicks you in the dick, and sometimes you just have to deal with the pain, and you will get over it, and there's something great right around the corner. I'll say another adage. Look, man, 30 is the new 20.
Oh,
My 20s sucked. My 30s were dope, right? You're entering into what I would say is the best time of your young adult life. 40s being the second best time of your quasi young adult, maybe middle-aged life. I don't know.
40s and 20s.
It's what you make it. I will say the most important thing I think from my perspective for this is just making sure you have a foundation to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again, right? Do you have a support structure? Do you have a therapist? Or is your family aware of what the sort of signs of this might be? Because I think it's important to move forward in a productive way. And in order to do that, I think it's great to have a team of people that can kind of help you out.
Yeah. No, you're good. I just wanted to say that I know you said that you feel like you're at square one again, but you've lived a lot of life. Like you've learned a lot of things. Like you are a different person than when you first lived at your mom's house. Like you are a different grown person, and kind of reframing that can go a long way. And also just keeping busy is extremely important. I don't know what your day-to-day is looking like, but keeping busy. I remember when I was living when after I was in college, went because of the pandemic and having to go back to my mom's house, and that was a rough time period for me. And I was real down low for a while, and I realized that I needed things to do every single day in order to kind of get out of that mindset. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
Do you have? Yeah. Are you? I assume you're doing someone on the week, like a weekly or a monthly basis that you can talk to.
Yeah, as far as like therapy and stuff, it's just been like kind of out of like friends at the moment.
You're out of friends at the moment?
Like I don't really have any, like all of my kind of friendships have kind of like faded over time.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, you understand why and you get that, but you had friends at one point, which means you're going to have friends again. That's what's going to happen as you get back out there. But, you know, you got to, this happened. It's a thing. You had to deal with it. Unfortunately, people have bad things that they have to deal with. You will get beyond it. You will rebuild. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you're on track and you're on the way already. You have excellent taste in your internet content that you choose to engage with. So that you clearly have your head on straight when it comes to that stuff.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks, homie. All right, our final caller of the night. Thank you all so much for watching today's live stream. We'll take one more from the call lines. Waiting for it. It's coming.
It's good to hear from Craven.
Craven.
Always nice to know that Craven's out in the world doing whatever Craven does.
Chugging.
Very proud.
Chugging
in the sun.
Of course, caller, make sure to answer that phone call. There it is. Woo. Our final caller of today's.
Gentlemen, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I'm sorry, my bad. My name is Casey, and I have a question that's a little bit related to something that was asked earlier. My wife and I have been together for, I don't know, like 20 years now, long time.
Oh, yeah. Hi, congrats.
We have been not monogamous for probably about half that time. We kind of closed the relationship down about 2 years ago after we had a bad experience with a dude. So we let some time pass. One of our old fuckboys from way back in the day lives a couple states away. He's thinking about coming to visit next month.
It's exciting and
Yeah.
scary.
It is exciting, but I guess my question is, I have a lot of anxiety, both physically and mentally, about being with one, another person, and two, a man. You know, we haven't had a man with us for a little while, and I think the more I think about it, the more like in my head I'm getting about the whole thing, and I don't know how to make myself not do that.
So you don't want to have the anxiety about it because you're wanting to go through with it. You're wanting to engage with this person in some level.
I think so. You know,
Okay.
I think it could be a good time. It would be a fun time. You know, he's always been a good guy to hang out with. A lot of fun in bed. Good times we're always had. But I don't know. It's been a while, and you know, the last guy we were with, it didn't go so hot. So I think I'm just kind of got nerves.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very
Understandable.
valid feeling. And so
Understandable.
what excites me about this is it sounds like it is something that you want to do, and it really doesn't sound like you're trying to talk yourself into it. It's trying to be,
Nah.
It sounds more like you're trying to talk yourself back to have the confidence that you want to have for it. So I think that's a good thing. What's your partner's perspective on this?
I mean, she's down for it as well. You know, the three of us have always had a really good rapport between the three of us. So she's down for it, but I think she's also got some anxiety like I do.
Yeah.
So let me go for it.
Go for it. No.
I was going to say, if that's the case, I would say maybe the best thing is you and her talk about it before it all goes, before this guy's even in the picture, and hang out without the intention of it happening. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And either could be okay.
Do you have any sort of built-in like levels of checks during a night like this? And this is my own naivete when it comes to these things, but I imagine there's like, is there any sort of like code word or anything you use, or like I'm not feeling this day of or in the middle of it that you can both bail out of? Because I feel like sometimes in situations like this, I tell myself, hey, there's going to be like a like, you know, hour one checking in if it's cool, hour two, whatever. If I'm not feeling this thing, I bail out, and you shouldn't feel any bad about that.
That is a solid plan, and that is probably something we should institute on a more like, okay, here's the plan, here's the code word. I mean, there have been times in the past when either her or me have had to kind of bounce out and recollect ourselves, and it's a thing. It's going to happen when you have multiple people involved.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a 20-year relationship, and then it's been a long time of like a lot of different things happening here. So I feel like there's a lot of anxiety for good reason of just like, you're different people than you were 5 years ago or whatever it was. So I really feel like you just need to check in with yourself of like, do you want this to happen, or are you scared of it happening? Where is that line? And if you want it to happen, hey, have some fun, see where you're at. But I do think, to Nick's point, like,
put some
even
safety protocols in.
like
put a couple safety protocols.
If you haven't done that before,
you know,
this is a different time. I would say do that, have that conversation, be as straight up as possible with it all, and be as comfortable as you could possibly be. Be purely comfortable. And if it makes anyone else uncomfortable, then that's the point where you're like, hey, this isn't working. And that's
banana. We should get some bananas. And then that's it. That's the bailout.
Yeah,
word.
I was going to say, I'm open. I'm taking suggestions for safe words.
Well, bananas is a little on the nose, but yeah, I mean, that's, again, I've talked to friends. I've never experienced it myself, but I've talked to friends that it's tough. I mean, you don't know what to do if it's fun when you're thinking about it, and then in the moment you're like, hey, I'm uncomfortable. How do we do this? And they've had to have those like sort of policies in place where it's like, I know that if I say this one thing, my friends, we're gonna walk out of the room for a second, talk about this, and then we're gonna say, sorry, this is not working out for us.
I would say, don't think of it as a safe word like banana or something that is like you see on TV and stuff. I literally think it is an actual conversation that happens before things actually start happening, that could also then happen during things are happening. Like, set the stage of like, hey, I want this to happen. I'm a little anxious about it all. So please, are you comfortable with if this happens and I need to back out at some point? Like, I'm just going to say, hey, I need a moment. And like, that is the safe word. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
sure.
it's not, don't make it cute.
And
make
also,
it real.
this person that you've known before. It's not like it's a rando coming into your bedroom, right? This is a person you have a pre-existing relationship with. So presumably you're comfortable enough around them to have that conversation. But I think I like Tim's perspective at it as well. I think you're putting a lot of value on this. Value might not be the right word, but I think you're putting a lot of energy toward the actual act. When I think I liked your perspective more, being like, what if you reframed it in your brain? If you're all just hanging out for an evening without the expectation of sex, and if sex happens, then it happens.
Yeah.
That might be a way to go about it, but I don't know. You know more about this than we do, so you might need to guide us through this. I might have to. Well, no, I'll never have to call.
Yeah, you won't be calling. You're not calling. You're not calling.
It's never gonna happen for me, but congratulations.
Never say
it sounds
never,
exciting.
Nick.
That's
you know,
fair.
We didn't open up until we had been married for a few years already. So never say never.
Okay. I mean, yeah, absolutely. We'll keep an open mind.
I love it. Well, hey, good luck with all of this.
Yeah, good luck. Thanks,
just
Casey.
do whatever you feel comfortable with, and whatever you and your partner and he feel comfortable with, and communication, honesty, baby.
All right. Sounds good, guys. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Good luck.
All right. Bye.
Tim?
Yeah.
It's been an incredible afternoon. It's time to ramp down, so please hit him with the outro. Say goodbye.
This has been an utterly fantastic show. What a great time hanging out with all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us for this love and sex stuff after dark. We've done 3 of them this year, if I remember.
I got it.
Yeah, here you go.
3, if I remember correctly, done already. We have a 4th on the way to close out the year at some point, thanks to your support over on patreon.com/kindafunny. So thank you for all of this. But until next time, be honest, communicate, and love each other. Don't shit where you eat.
Always use lube.
Walmart condoms.